Hi, good morning.
Hey, Sha. How you doing, sir?
That's such a stupid question. Yes. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. I
Who wouldn't
appreciate
be?
your direct answer. That's what we were
Who
kind of
wouldn't
looking for.
be? Who wouldn't want a man that's taking care of them, paying their bills while they at home eating chips, on the
Mm,
couch,
mm.
relaxing. Hey, babe, let me get my nails and hair done today. I'm bored. All right, baby, here's the credit card. What bitch wouldn't want that? Like, come on. If they say no, they're lying to you. They're lying to you, Sways.
Well, this is why I rock with Sha. This is one of the people that been around me for a very long time. It's like I don't need to be around her to know we're connected. You know those type of people, right? So she
Nah,
understands.
come on,
She
man. Come on.
understands how to communicate very effectively with men, right? And she also knows how to turn all the way up and sometimes destroy men. So I know that she's coming from
Good.
her observations, and I'm not looking for somebody to filter things and clean it
Take
up.
it.
And
Take it
because,
from an independent single woman. We are
mm,
miserable. Where is
thank
my
you, Queen.
husband's
I
at?
appreciate you.
Is my
I appreciate you
husband's in
telling me that.
this live right now? Let me know if you're trying to pay these bills. Thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But nah, on some real shit though, all right. Ask yourselves this, right? Would you want y'all daughters working a 12-hour shift, coming home to a nigga playing Xbox? Or would you want your daughters relaxing at home, taking care of her little children's while her husband's at work slaving like a fucking slave? Which one would you want? Ask yourselves
As a
that. And
as a
then when,
father,
when you answer that, don't try to tell me what to settle for then, motherfucker. If you telling your daughters
mm,
to settle for something different, suck
hmm
my ass. Now let me stop.
that's
I'm
called
telling my
settling for the.
daughters to own their own business. That's kind of what
Mm,
they working towards right now. They owning their own stuff. Like
hmm
just so like and not even just, not so they can be this independent. Nah, own your own stuff and find a man that owns his own stuff. That way y'all both can sit back and relax. That way other people work for y'all.
hmm
Like
what
hmm
what
I
makes
agree with her. Single women are fucking miserable. And here's why they're
hmm
miserable. You ain't busting nuts on a regular basis. Just like
hmm
single men, you miserable too. You might have your vices that get you over to the next day, smoke your weed, play your Xbox, entertain your
Yo,
DM.
every time
But if
I
you
hear
are
that,
not
I
busting
just
an
want to
actual
cry.
nut and a good
Like,
nut on a regular basis, you're miserable. I don't care how much money
your
you have. I don't care what kind of car you
shit?
drive. I don't care about none of that shit. If you are not busting on a regular, you're miserable. And I see it. I work with these
I
bitches.
could
Like, I
test.
see it. They got nice cars, they got decent apartments or a nice house,
hmm
but they are
hmm
not releasing and they are miserable as hell. And I'm sitting up there like,
hmm
y'all hoes is hilarious because I'm releasing on a regular and I'm single.
And then what I'm seeing is a lot of women who reach that place, instead of them being extremely honest and saying, you know what, let me be honest with myself so I can be honest with you. You rather you rather paint it with some brush that everybody knows isn't real, right? But some women
Mm.
who are coming to you, they'll take that advice like, you know what, maybe it's okay if I don't care about my relationships. I just focus in on my career and drive that ball home for the next 20, 30 years. Yeah, well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because
And
you
see,
rarely see
that's
nursing home people. You don't see people in a nursing home talking about their career, talking about their families, their experiences, things that they share with people, their
that's a fact.
vacation. It's not about your career. Not even a man is that slow.
That's a fact.
A man knows it's not about his career. We're not that slow. And so if you buy into that dream that you can succeed somewhere in man's land that will freaking have you connected to the earth and you forgot to bring others with you, what are you doing? What are you
Mm.
doing? Good morning, everybody.
So, babe, being that you say that, right? What would be your message? I don't know if you have children, but
No,
what
I
would
don't.
be your message to like your future daughters to do? Cause like I feel like a lot of the time where a lot of women take the message of like focus on your careers first before your family, they take that a little too literal and they end up focusing on their career so much where they perfect their ways in their profession, but they wait too long, and they get to an age supposedly
I,
where our biological clock ticks way faster than men, and that whole
Uh,
spectacle of we are undesirable after a certain age, etc. So what would you tell like your future daughters to focus on, like first, like career or settling down and having a family?
I think dating
I
with
was.
attention is first. Personally, for a lady, that's the first thing a woman should be concerned with. Between 17 and 24, a woman should be concerned with forming her family. That's what she should be concerned with.
Right,
Those are the prime years of your life. You have the ability to
right.
have children, bounce back, all of that, right? All of it. But once you start trying to walk into a man's shoes, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to deal with a whole new world of issues. And that's where we are in society. Like, do you understand that there are more C-sections than natural birth? Why? We don't know.
hmm.
Is it money? Is it women having children later? What is it?
Well,
Is it? I don't know.
I could say a lot of it has to do with money and time. Um, but that's a whole
Really?
different, that's a separate
He
Well,
conversation.
just.
you know, a
Yeah.
C-section is more
Yeah, that's
expensive than a
Um,
confusing
natural birth. So,
because
it
I just
has
want to put out here right now. Like I've had all 6 of my kids natural. I never got cut open.
same,
thank
Wow.
God.
same.
Like I
Thank
had
But
God.
all
that's
my natural.
did
I ain't
may
even
I
have an
ask, like,
epidural.
did you advocate for your own natural birth? Like, did you make it clear to them that you were not having a C-section unless it was like an emergency or unless like niggas was finna die? Because that
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
I had gave birth to twins. I don't know if you didn't know the statistics behind that, but over like 70% of them end up being C-section.
Right,
And
right,
like when I gave birth, I made it known C-section isn't happening unless one
right.
of us is dying, and I ended up giving natural birth. So it's there's a lot of factors into that, but mainly it's money and time. It's way faster to get a C-section done rather than wait the whole labor. Like some women are in labor for days. They don't got
But
time for that.
see,
They need free
but
bags.
also,
Um,
too with that, you know what else is going up?
What's that?
The what the the depression women get after having children.
That
Mm-hmm.
postpartum.
Well, that's because of the way.
I didn't deal with it. I didn't deal with that heavy. Like I knew I had it, like I kinda had it, but it was more or less like just trying to bounce back into a regular routine. Once I got into a regular routine, the baby blues went away. It was really that I'm just trying to get back into a regular schedule. I never dealt with that. But I really think when you were talking about like focusing on your career and all that, between the ages of 17 and 24, I was having the bulk of my children. And my husband was working. Like my
Mm-hmm.
husband was going out working. Like I was having the bulk of our kids at that time. Like and that I was having boy, girl. Like I was getting kids out of the way. And by the time I finished having kids, we came into a point where it was needed for me to kind of be helping him focus on the
Mm.
business because COVID happened. Like COVID started, so we had to go and revamp what we were doing again. So I'm gonna have to agree with like that concept. Like you really, and I'm not gonna say focus on having kids. I would say for women, focus on being a good woman. Focus on being a better woman. Focus on coming out of that immature phase. Because we do mature faster than boys, but then we regress back into immaturity when we hit our 20s. I don't know what happened. It's like we're all grown at 13 or 14 and we hit 20, 21 and we're immature as fuck. Like I don't know what happened. So I feel like in that time of 17 to 24, when you're focusing on your family, I'm not saying have kids because that's not for everybody, but focus on being
Mm-hmm.
mature and like really mature, like really wanting to communicate. Because when you get married, you cannot be an asshole in your marriage because you will lose. You will lose. And we're not talking about just losing time. Like, we're losing time, but you're also losing, you could be losing financially as well. Because people be thinking like, oh, that's my boyfriend, my girlfriend, oh, the money, we gonna, When you get married, that's when the money gets real. Like, fuck around if you want to, you will lose half of everything.
I honestly believe, like, between that age, not focusing on having children and getting married and stuff, but focusing on you, like you said, like focusing on our heart, focusing on our spirit, focusing on things that have affected us as kids, so we won't be bringing in baggage to a relationship, because a lot of times when we bring in this baggage, it destroys us and destroys our relationship. So yes, center yourself, center your zen, or center your whatever you have to center, whatever most high you follow, center on that, and then branch out to, you know, dealing with folks and having kids or whatever, getting married, whatever. But definitely focus on your past traumas and try to hurt those. Get with anybody. We gotta focus on these traumas, man.
Or just be more upfront about what it communication sometimes with men and women is like.
You broke up. What you said?
No.
Broke up a little bit.
Oh, my fault. I was saying just be upfront about what it is that you want. Like, everybody doesn't want a relationship. Not every woman that comes across a man wants a relationship, and vice versa. Just be upfront. Like, look, I don't want to be a full girlfriend, or I don't want to be a full boyfriend. But I would like to come fuck with you, take you out to eat, vibe is good, we hit a J, smoke, drink, whatever it is that we do, go to church, whatever. But I don't want the whole responsibility of being your partner. I don't want that. Like, I don't want the full ride yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just gotta, I don't know, because I don't ever think when somebody's talking to me, I'm the only person they're talking to. So I keep it very open. Because I'm not the only person you're talking to. I'm not the only person you're interested in. I'm just happen to be that person that walked past you, that you saw something like, ooh, I like that. You know, men and women are very basic. We're like kids in the candy store. We got our favorite candy that we like, we'll go get it. But sometimes the candy store might have something a little extra special. We be like, what's that about over there? Let's go try that. And then you find out you really like that shit, or that's not really for me. You go back to what you know. Like, it's very basic, but just be honest. Like, everybody's so honest with their barber and their hairstylist. Be honest with the person you fucking. Like,
how about
like, shit, but that's right with them.
Like, and yourself, be honest with you.
Yeah, like, I know what I want. Like, I got out of my marriage when I got divorced. I don't want to be in a.
Hold on, no, yeah, Bake was talking. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Bake?
No, I'm just saying everybody always want to talk to somebody else, but never want to communicate with their partner. I went through that with my marriage because my wife was talking to my mom about everything and not communicating with me. You know, we have to communicate, having an open line of communication.
Yeah, because they get to direct the narrative that way. You like, when people take your story and bring it to others, it's because they want to design it so they can feel like the victim. You understand? Because if they really want, listen, if anybody really wants to work something out and they know that person is a good ear and they give solid advice, they would bring you in front of them and they would discuss it together. It wouldn't be something in the background. Like, I can remember several times an aunt that's not really an aunt, but a really close friend of my mother and father, who was never married, came in and counseled. This is a fact. She would come in and counsel my parents. She was never married. But now she ain't going to say in my face and lie, act like that was okay. She's now 62 years old. She's a beautiful woman. She has no wrinkles on her face, but she's not happy. She's not. She sees my mother. She sees the different things that are going on, the family around her, people, you know, having grandchildren and having you know, coming and experiencing time with grandma and all that stuff. She sees all of that. You don't think a woman continues to see that throughout her life and that doesn't nag at her?
Yeah.
Oh, so she was an independent woman as well, right?
She chose independence. She chose it.
That sucks, man.
Anytime I
No,
hear
I
an
When
mean,
my
independent woman,
yo,
she showed
I can tell you.
independence.
Look, yo, my mom would be in the house sipping wine. She be in Newark sipping Henny with some dude. You feel me? Running around, enjoying herself. And whether my mom did it right or not, she already know that I'll do anything. My mom ain't going to no nursing home. She won't have that. She won't end like that. It won't happen. Not on my watch. Now, who she got to say that for her? As she takes care of a 104-year-old father, because it's longevity in that life, and her side is longevity. She already knows she about to do another 40. She already know.
hey,
And then as you start getting closer to that time when you're like, okay, my time on this earth is now, I'm running down the numbers, right? The things that are around you are going to matter. They're going to matter.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah,
literally have to start
definitely.
making freaking relationships with random ass people instead. That's what happens when you get old. They call you and you try and talk to anybody on the phone. This is a fact. Anybody call. This is why the old people, all types of bad things happen to them on the phone and stuff, because they're looking for any type of comfort, solace, because a lot of times people aren't around.
it's
Yeah.
just
They
like
chose
flipping a
themselves.
That's
coin.
very true.
It's just like flipping a coin and choosing.
That's
I'm gonna
very
talk to
true.
this person that day, another person the next day. We have to do our due diligence though on who we pick too. As please,
Agreed.
y'all, do your due diligence, man. Just don't settle
Mm.
for a pretty shiny gift, because what's shiny on the outside ain't always shiny in the inside. Okay, please do
That's very
your
true.
due diligence. Sex
On
is not
both ends.
everything. Don't let sex ruin your thought process, because it can cloud your judgment. Don't fall for the
Should,
banana in the tailpipe. Please.
should,
All right, Bake.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Got your message, sir. Yeah, because he's talking to someone directly, like, I'm slow. Got you. All right.
No, don't be about it, bro.
so,
Hey, look, I'll take my own advice when I say something.
Listen, y'all.
I'm taking my
Listen,
own
I am
I'm
advice.
human. I
crying.
make mistakes. I am human, Bake. I'm human.
I know you human,
Human.
bro.
The hue of man. I am him. I represent that. Me. Not
Hey,
perfect.
hey,
Just a
that
human.
technically was not directed at you, though. That was directed at
Yeah, man. I put it on.
everybody and me
I felt
taking.
it.
And you felt it.
I put it on. I felt it. You understand? But I'm human, and I realize that I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. And
Yes.
one of my kryptonite is women. Like the fuck?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You
but
know it,
that's
babe.
like the best
Crazy.
kryptonite to have. What's wrong with that as a kryptonite?
Well, the wisest man in the Bible, his kryptonite was women. So I don't feel alone.
Crazy.
You understand?
Crazy. Hey, Suave. Crazy women, though. Crazy. So.
What does that mean?
Stay away from
Still
the crazy.
women, nevertheless. Women,
Yeah,
yes.
I know, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
No crazies though. No crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about, babe.
Do your due diligence. Everybody. Me
Oh, but
too.
he wasn't talking to me, right, Shy? Shy, he wasn't talking to me, yes?
No,
It had nothing to do with me, right, Shy?
I'm talking to everybody. I'm not singling you out, bro. I would never single you out.
Oh, man. I'm single and I'm out.
It sounds like somebody. It sounds like somebody likes the crazy ones. Somebody said they
The
got the
crazy
best.
ones,
You know, they got the
what,
best.
no,
The
it's
best
not
of the
that.
best. The crazy ones do.
Yes, they
No, I
do.
attract broken people because they see.
Somebody's a nut. Somebody's
It's not
Go
that.
ahead,
crazy.
Shy. Go ahead, Shy.
Nah, I'm
Don't tell
just
me crazy
kidding.
too. Go ahead, man.
I'm not crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing. Listen, it's nothing wrong with being crazy. Just keep your emotions in check. I think that's what it is. Everybody's a little psycho, but it's the ones that can keep their emotions in check. Like, you know what? I can fuck you up,
Yeah,
but I'm not. I'm
You know what
not.
I'm saying?
you
Interesting.
know.
That's definitely interesting right there.
Listen, no, it's all right, Lil B. I had to get off that iPhone, man. I had already angered him by saying that I knew the play, and he just started playing with us. I'm like, okay, so I already knew what it was. I'm like, okay, get off this dumbass iPhone. And now look, the lines is clear. Everyone can hear. You know, the people that hate me will continue to hate me. The people that know, I'm gonna tell you what I feel. You don't like it, you around the wrong person.
Right.
You understand? You were just around the wrong person. It's like I can't contain me for you. I did that shit for too many people. That's it. I'm on the last half now. I'm not playing with life. If you are, that's on you.
I mean, I perfectly respect it. That's where I'm at. Like, you don't like
Yeah,
what I'm
I don't have
saying?
time to lie to myself or lie to you. I don't have time. That's why I'm so transparent. I don't have time for it.
You already know that's my bop.
Well, that's why we bop so well together. Because when I'm talking to you and I express whatever I feel, and you might get like, okay, I didn't like that. You hit me back, you move on. You understand? It's not something we carry. Because you know it's just a feeling. It's how I feel. It's how you feel. You know?
I don't think we ever argued, Swaz.
I don't think so.
Don't let y'all past transgressions.
Yeah, I don't think we ever had a disagreement.
Or whatever.
If we did.
But can I ask you something, Miss Lady? You bust nuts on a regular you bust nuts on a regular basis?
That's not for the live to know.
Whoa.
No. I'm saying I'm saying that because I've listened to Swaz's I've listened to a couple of these jonks. So I've listened to a few ladies being here. They're very combative, and to me it's like I don't think these ladies is busting nuts because I haven't heard anything come out of Swaz's mouth or any of the other gentlemen's mouths in this live to make these ladies go over the top how they be going. And it's like, y'all ain't busting nuts because I didn't hear nothing that made me get upset. Like,
I'm crying.
It's just opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it could be that. It could be that. It could be something deeper than that. I think a lot of women need to forgive their fathers, but that's a different conversation.
Forget your father. Yeah. Do you ask fathers? That's a question I ask on who
but that's just a deeper conversation. We do not need to have
it's deep. Listen, parasocial, that's all that is. There's a lot of people that are in way deeper relationships with you than you are with them. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, that's true too.
Let's unpack it. We can unpack it.
You don't want to unpack it because then people are going to get hurt. They're going to get upset with me. But I'm just telling you the truth. It's parasocial. Because the people that are truly in my life, like Bake, like he know everything. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone else, we building. We chilling. We vibing. We not vibing. Whatever that is, right? But there's really people I let in. There's really people I let in. And if you're not able to say like, I know what you're talking about when you saying those little coy things, it's because you're not in.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not it's like don't get mad at me and don't get mad when you see me just consistently building with others because I've also built with you. And that's what happens. A lot of people like, you stop right there. Stop right there, Swaz. I'm the last person you should help. That's how some people feel. Stop right there.
So you're saying people have like, they're possessive. People have like possessive. Everybody seems to be very possessive. That's how I be feeling. That's what I be feeling like. Like because I talk to people that have they got situationships, and I be listening to possessive. I be listening to their situationships, and it's like, wait a minute, if that's not somebody that you claim on paperwork, then how they that possessive? Wait a minute. Rewind it back. How you do that?
Cause that's my man. Like the fuck.
Wait though. If that man,
cause that's mine. That Beetle. That's
wait a minute. Hold on.
Property management.
I've dealt with every level a female could deal with. I've been a girlfriend, I've been a baby mother, I've been a side joint, a wife, and now I'm going through a divorce. If a man never claims you, that's not your man. Like if he never, and when I say claim you, I'm not even talking about like to your face. I'm talking about like when you're not around. And trust me, you know the difference. You know the difference when you are that bitch and when you just somebody he's just fucking. When you that bitch, it's a difference. Like you walk in the room, it's a whole different kind of respect you get. And it's like a quiet respect. It's not even a said respect. If you just a bitch he fucking, you know. It's a difference.
Can I
See, I'm not that possessive. I'm not that possessive with people. Like, if I know you fucking somebody else, I can't own you. I can't own you. You clearly got situationship. We not.
Listen, if I'm being honest with you, if I'm being quite honest with you, depending on how good the dick is, I don't give a fuck who you fucking with.
See, that's
exactly.
Listen, I own you when you're with me. About like what you do outside is none of my business. But like I said, it depends on how good the dick is.
I definitely hear that. I definitely know, because that's how I be feeling. I be like, look, you do whatever you gonna do. I'm not gonna fuck that dick up. That bitch gonna fuck up. She gonna fuck up. And then more of your time gonna be on my time. She gonna fuck up. I'm gonna sit back and let her fuck up.
If it's great, I'm on my best behavior.
Exactly. But see, that's why I say it's a difference. That's what I was saying before. Like, if you single and you independent, but you busting nuts on a regular, you probably the happiest motherfucker in the world. Keep it a G. You ain't got to worry about this nigga. You just know when it's time to get mine in, I'm going to get mine in. And I don't even have to worry about none of the extra shit.
You are in euphoric mode 24/7. Let me tell you. Cause imagine, right? Like when you're at a point where you're not getting consistent sex, and it's like when you do get it, it's like the next day you're different at work. You just a whole different person. You're saying good morning to everybody. You're being more. You're not even mad that they ate your lunch. You're like, you know what, whatever. I'll get new lunch.
When I was having to go in and deal with shit, when I was having to go into the office and deal. I definitely could tell the difference with the bitches that went on a dry spell for like 3-4 months when getting shit. Girl. And then these hoes will pop up, big ass smiles on their faces, nice as fuck. You bringing coffee and donuts for everybody. You talking about, I'm getting lunch. Who wants lunch on me? Bitch, who is dicking you down? Like, who dicked you down over the weekend?
I take so much, bitch.
Look, I'm happy every day I go to work. Why? Because I get mine on a regular basis. And I'm not talking about like being married. That doesn't even count. I'm supposed to be happy. It doesn't count. What's the point in the bed angry? What's the point? Look, you might as well be my boyfriend. What's the point?
And when you get married, a lot of times the sex is not, you don't get it as often, especially when you have kids and you're doing this and doing that.
Bullshit. I was putting them 2,000 house. Listen here. Look, here's the thing. My mother told me this. When I started fucking. When I started fucking at 14, my mother said, I'm not mad at you for you having sex. I'm mad because your mental state is not ready. Once you start walking down this road, you have to be mentally prepared for the bullshit. This nigga is gonna fuck the shit out you like he loves you, like he's gonna marry you, and he's gonna forget your name. He's gonna forget your fucking name.
That's crazy.
Do not go into this thinking everybody is gonna be putting dick in you. They love you. They don't. They getting just as much as release from it as you are, so you got to carry it accordingly. If the nigga is fucking with you, it will show. And it should show before he sticks dick in you. If it don't show before he sticks dick in you, he's not fucking with you. Keep it the fuck moving. Get your dick and keep it moving. Yep. On to the next one. Don't hang on, because you're going to mentally fuck yourself up. And my mother told me that at 14, I have never busted out a window, scratched a nigga car, blown a nigga phone up, none of that extra shit. If you don't fuck with me accordingly, I will move the fuck on.
You
deuces. No, my mama was different. My mama was like, look, these niggas ain't shit. There's niggas out here that will be shit, but you got to be on top of your shit to find them niggas. And if you ain't on top of your shit, you gonna run into ain't shit niggas every single time. Period. You got to be on top of your shit to find a nigga that's on top of his shit. And when you find that nigga that's on top of his shit, you better do everything you possibly can to keep him if he's fucking with you the right way. Because if you don't, he will move on to the next bitch quick.
Is that
No nigga moving on to no next bitch.
Big, is that not a fact? Be honest. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact. If you get, I was just telling a lot. If you get a man out of your league, yo, cherish him.
Yeah, like, real talk.
Don't sit there and try. Listen, don't try and join somebody's team and come in and think you a coach. That ain't gonna work.
You better come in there like you a red shirt. You better work, bitch.
Thank you, mama.
Why you think I said what I said?
Who want water? Who need water? Y'all thirsty?
Who need Gatorade?
I'm on my
who need a back rub? Who need a back rub? Who need a foot rub? Fuck you talk about?
Yeah, but don't let the dick disappear for a few days and then you get some I don't need the dick courage, right? But you need it though. You need it. Like, you know if you get enough of something, you be like, oh, I'm good. That's not what it was. That's not what really had me feeling. Nah. It be that too. Like, y'all, the ones that know, right? But when a man pulls that energy from you, like especially a man like me, if I take my energy from you, oh, you gonna feel it. You gonna feel it.
Hey, this is my only issue with all of what y'all saying. A lot of people aren't happy with their life, and they get in these relationships thinking relationships and having sex or whatever is gonna make them happy. You have to be happy with yourself first before anything else. If you're not happy with yourself, you're headed for destruction every single time. Every single time. You know, why do we always think if we keep doing the same thing, we get different results? We're not going to get different results if we keep doing the same damn thing over and over and over again. You need to flip the script. You need to change up. Be happy with self first. That's all I have to say. Just be happy with self before you enter any relationship, situationship, whatever the hell it is. Just be happy. Because if no one can make you happy, they can just add to your happiness.
Big, do you think it's smart to turn a situationship into a relationship after a long period of time?
No,
because you don't already establish what it is. It's kind of hard to get out of that box because you don't already box yourself off. You know what I'm
usually situationships that end up into relationships are because the actual wife found out and left. So the guy's just like, you know what, fuck it. Let me just settle for this bitch. Might as well.
You settle.
And you settle. Yeah, but...
Well, it's also not even just settling. I think it's the stability of knowing that I don't have to be alone. Because a lot of women don't want to be alone,
that's
right?
What I mean by
it's not that they want to be with the right man. They just don't want to be alone. You understand?
Well, see, that's a problem. That's a problem, not being comfortable with yourself, then. Like,
I mean, obviously that's a problem on the man's part if he has a situationship with the wife to begin with. That's what I understand a situationship is. I don't know about y'all, but yeah.
Situationship is just bud buddies.
Yeah, a buddy. Like a slide, a link, linky, all that.
Yeah.
But
a consistent link, somebody that you could come back to, and you know what I mean?
But my thing about what's the point of that? I might as well be in a relationship. That's so stupid.
What, a situationship? Because you don't want the responsibility of a relationship. Relationships come with a lot of responsibility. Like, they come with two.
But if I'm gonna be fucking you and chilling with you, like.
Right, that's it. Like, we chilling and we fucking like when we was kids.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not responsible for your shit.
Me personally, I'm too old for that. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm too old for that. Like, I'm not about to have a.
You're not too old. It's not an age thing. If you want more out of the relationship, you want more than just that. In my
opinion, it's an age thing. You shouldn't be having situationships in your 30s. That's weird. But in my opinion.
How's it weird? Your bills paid, my bills paid, your kids good, my kids good. It's a release thing. It's a
Why aren't
release
you
and chill
settling
thing.
for a relationship that's gonna end up in marriage at least by the time you hit your 30s? So it's like, what the fuck? Like, you might end up a single, independent, miserable woman.
Shy, sound like you date with a purpose, huh?
Yep,
Real
like you
purpose,
What?
said,
man.
date with attention.
You,
No, that's what I mean. Like, at the end of the day, it's like a situationship. Once you leave it like that, like Big said, that's how it's gonna stay. And how you gonna get a man to take
Eats.
you serious if y'all already been fucking and acting like a relationship without a title? It's like, what's the
Mm.
purpose in that?
Well, you
You
listen. You know
getting
what
Because
happens
that's
when
how I
women
got
do
married.
that?
Because
But
because
you
that's
know,
how I
there's
got
some
married
women.
to my best. That's how I got
Yeah,
married
but
to my
there's
best friend.
listen. There's women. There's
We was
women
in a
that are to
situationship. We was friends.
look. But look, there's women that take that road, and there's some men that won't ever claim them, and they'll sit with these men and ride with these men and know that any
and
given
that's
day they
my
could just
thing.
walk from them and not care, and they'll be all
Like
right with it.
if it's a situation where like a guy's, I guess, is in a relationship and y'all have a situationship like that, then I guess I understand the purpose, because it's like, can't get with the nigga because he already has a wife or whatever the case may be, right? But it's like, if y'all both single, what is the purpose in that? If y'all already fucking and acting like a relationship, y'all might as well be together. And if not,
We,
then niggas stop
what if you're
giving.
not though? What if you're not acting like it's a relationship? It's literally you come, it's a release, we chill, we hang, and then you go about your motherfucking business.
I don't know.
okay.
For
Could
me,
I
I don't know.
could I intervene? So situationships aren't relationships, and relationships aren't technically marriage. So we
Yep.
gotta separate the three. We gotta separate the three. We gotta
Hmm.
categorize
I
each
agree.
one because we
Yeah,
can't
because a
put.
boyfriend and girlfriend relationship is not a marriage.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
Y'all
that's
You
where we
could
technically,
get.
agree.
I
That's where
don't
we get
even
caught up.
consider boyfriend and girlfriend
But
serious.
this
Like
is why I
technically,
said. This is
y'all can
why I
still
said
go
I'm
fuck other
too
people
old
if
for
y'all
that.
want to.
This is
Like,
why I said I'm too old for that. I'm
Yeah.
27 at the end of the day. I'm not about to be in no situationship with nobody. Like, I'm getting too old for that.
You still young,
To
baby.
but
me,
you
You
there's
never
no
been married
purpose.
though, right? Correct.
No, and that's my point. There's no.
I was married by the
I'm
time I
have a
was your age.
situationship for years for what? Where am I going with that?
yeah.
You know,
What's
like, I want to
what's
settle
our
down,
future plans? What's your future plans? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we
right?
doing
And
here? That's what you gotta ask yourself. What
but
are
that's
we
what you
doing here?
gotta establish, like, first fucking meetup, like first date, whatever, because you need things like that to be clear, so that you don't
Right.
end up in a situationship and expecting something to come out of that.
Mhm.
Ah, that's your word right there. You said it. You hit the. You're expecting something. When I'm with
Yeah.
somebody,
Hmm.
I don't expect shit but what I give. If we gonna reciprocate the same thing, right? I don't expect
I didn't
anything.
say that I expected. I'm saying
You
in
did. You said
general
you
terms.
expect a certain outcome. I don't expect shit. When I first meet up with somebody, I can't
Well,
expect that
that's
much
on
from you
you.
that far down the
I'm
line.
not
That's a
you and you
lot.
not me at the end of the day. But me,
That's a lot to ask for
I'm not that
somebody right
nigga.
off the break. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
we
giving
in a
no pussy to
relationship.
a
We
nigga
established
and
a
then
distance.
what?
That's
He's
a lot.
leaving
Whoa.
and what? Like, that's a dub. Like, what?
Yo, Mama got the what's that shit? The horn when they be out there freaking talking in the marches. The bullhorn. Yo, she got the
Boom.
bullhorn headset. What's going on with your mic, man? Cause I gotta
I
turn
have
my
no
volume
idea.
up. Bake talks kind of low. Shy talks kind of low, and then you. Woo,
I don't talk low, man. You not start talking low.
yeah, you not you know when the conversation is warranted, you know you'll do it. But
I intervene.
if you don't expect anything, that's how you end up in a situationship, in my opinion.
Right.
Mm.
Q. That's my opinion.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem. That's that. See, with me, that's that possessive shit. I don't possess nothing out of nobody. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. Like, I'm not. My husband and I came out of a situationship. We got married out of a situationship. The
So
only reason
why
why
y'all
we
getting
still,
divorced?
oh, because he put his hands on me.
Thanks.
All right, so there you
Mm.
go. Maybe situationships don't work out after all. Like,
No. The marriage was just fine. Like for real, he's a great fucking father. He's a great fucking guy.
so
We
then
just
why
came
did
to a
you
point where
divorce
we
him?
couldn't get along. It had really nothing to do with
So
him.
that
It
so
really
but
was
I think
more or
that
I
less
makes
think
like
no
y'all
we
would
sense.
just couldn't get
y'all
along
probably
anymore.
were
That
never
makes no
The
sense.
compatible in the
money.
beginning. You probably weren't
No, we
compatible
was
in the
just fine.
beginning.
No, we was just fine in the beginning. We were absolutely just fine in the beginning. The
Yeah, but
problem
let
was
me
he
explain
rekindled.
something. Let me explain something. If you were really compatible in the beginning, y'all would have
Y'all
clung
would
to
stay
each other
compatible.
in the beginning. Y'all would have clung to one another. But what happens was you guys became
We
available
did.
options at some point. Like y'all both were available to each other and just said, okay, let's try it. Because two people that are compatible, right? If they had another situation, like, no, this is where I belong. Like I'm walking away from that and I'm starting with you. Like, and now the person, like, I feel the same way too. Like this is where I belong. That's how compatible we are. Not just like, let's just hump and hump and hump and hump until eventually one day we're like, you know what? Let's go to the movies too. Like what?
Nah, it wasn't. No, we was friends. I can't get into all the details because then that's putting too much business out there that don't need to be out there. Just know, like we were friends. Like we were cool. Like we were real cool. And it was one of them, like, we fuck with each other. We still fuck with each other heavy to this day. Like he called me, hit me up, need anything, same thing. The problem happened when we started the business, started making money, and he rekindled back with some people in his family, and it just started issues. And I'm like, you can't even stand on your own 2 feet. That shit
I
kind of bothered
agree,
me. Like
if I'm being
that
honest.
shit kind of irritated me a little bit. Like you can't stand up against your folks that weren't even. It's
I
other
don't
shit that
understand.
depending. Like I don't even want to be with you. That and it's like, here's the thing though, we are separated. We're actually we haven't finalized anything. So we could always get back together. It's just we got together. We realized like maybe let's spend some time apart because you tripping, I'm tripping. But we could always get back together. That's my
How many?
friend. Like that's
How
my
many years?
best
Wait,
friend.
how many years were you married?
6.
Okay.
And
How many
does he
times?
feel like you can? Wait. Does he feel the same way? Does he tell you we can always get back together?
He wants to get back together. He wants this marriage.
No,
He
no, no,
wants
no,
us to
no,
get
no,
back
no,
together.
no. Those specific. Does he tell you that specific phrase? We could
Yes,
always get back together.
specifically.
So why don't you get back with him if he's such a great guy and great father?
I like being
So
single.
then that makes no sense.
Yeah,
I
because
have trouble.
what's out here, Mamu? Like if you weren't hurt through that and what you got, you had some bad timing.
Slim
Like
Pickens.
it could get really bad out here. Like
Hell
it
Well, see,
yeah.
that's
could
the
be
difference.
bad
That's the
timing
difference with
on
me.
consistent basis.
See, that's the difference with me, though. Like, I don't trip off shit like that. I don't.
You're
I
not gonna
have
trip
fun.
off it now, but when you hit
No,
that
I'm
age
being
where
that
you
serious. Like,
guys are
I like being single before being married to
about
him.
it.
I got married just because it was like, you know what? Let me try this. I got married to him because it's like you showed me stability. You showed me that you fuck with me. You
So
showed me loyalty.
you never married forever,
Shit
right?
went on that
Wait,
happened.
wait. You never married for forever. That wasn't your purpose. You didn't. That wasn't
No, I wanted to stay
primarily
That's
married
like.
what's
forever.
annoying.
I did.
That's where you
I
went
did,
wrong
but he
at.
started tripping. He started tripping and was like, well, I don't want to be in a trippy marriage with you. Get your shit together. I'm going to go get my shit together. We'll see what happens.
But how many times have he put his hands on you though? That's the thing. That's the question. That's the $100 question.
You said what?
$1,000 question.
You sound
said
like
he put
you
his
probably
hands
hit
on
him
you.
first too. Now let me stop.
Don't
How many times have he put his hands on
Let's
child.
not start. Let's not
You know the
start
double
that
standard. If you start doing that,
conversation.
you know how it go.
Let's not start that conversation.
Because then they be like, well,
times have
you
he put
can't
his
hurt
hands
a
on you?
man. That's what they're gonna say.
Right.
Hold up.
I
What was the
mean,
question?
technically,
I said, how many
no.
times have he put his hands on you?
Do we have to get too? I don't want to talk
Yeah, I
about
want to get.
somebody's
Throughout
Yeah, because
the
I don't
whole
want to cause
six,
no
past,
pain.
throughout the whole 6
respectfully.
years, no, we can talk about it because throughout
Anyway,
the whole 6 years, let's
I
say
don't want
every
to talk
year,
about it. I personally don't want to talk
let's
about
say
it.
out of
I
them
prefer
6
not to.
years, he put his hands on me. Let's say
Oh
maybe
my
twice,
god.
3 times out the year out of them 6 years. So we was fighting a lot. We was going back and forth a whole lot.
Do you
But see,
mind me
them
asking
last
how
like
old
the
are you?
last 2 years,
Did,
I was trying to get us to go through like marriage counseling. I was trying to
How
get him
old
to
are
go to
you?
like all kinds of. You said what?
How old are you?
32.
mm.
Okay.
You want to jump in it again at 32, man?
What? Back
Into
into
this
the
shit.
man, nigga.
Into this shit.
I was just fine being single when I started having kids. I was fine not being with him then. I was like, nigga, we don't have to be together because we having kids. You do understand that, right? Like, you can still do your thing. Like, I'm not tripping.
So,
You can do you. I can do me.
So do you
I'm
think?
not
So you
tripping.
think? Wait. Do you think that nonchalant attitude towards things could have been the reason why he felt like I really don't have anything here?
No, he didn't feel like he didn't have anything there. I felt like I didn't have shit there. That's why I wanted to get out of it. It really wasn't the abuse. The abuse just helped me leave. I didn't want to. I felt like I didn't have shit there. He always felt like he had more to gain out of the
This
relationship
is
than
like,
me.
to be honest, bro, like, this is why, like I plan on teaching my daughters not to like be bums and not focus on their careers. I obviously want them to have something going for themselves, but to mainly look for a good guy, a good God-fearing man, and just tie
Amen.
that down.
Amen.
Tie that
Amen.
down as fast as possible. Get that man to marry you and just have his kids. God
Yep.
willing, bro. Because shit, this is my worst fear, is them having a mentality like this. No disrespect to you, Miss Lady, but it's like I don't want my daughters divorcing at 32, talking about I want to live a single independent life. That's a dub, my nigga. Like,
Word.
I didn't say I wanted to
at
stay single.
At 32 years old, like, you should
I
be
didn't say I
tied
wanted to
down
stay single.
with
I said I'm
children, with your
enjoying it for
husband
what it is.
while he's working and you taking care of kiddos and what your
Let me put this out there right now. For whoever's listening, I want to put this out there right now for whoever's listening. I enjoyed being married up until it got bad. I enjoyed being in the house with my kids. I enjoyed spending time with my kids. Hold on, let me finish. I enjoyed having somebody that when I'm down, he got my back. I enjoyed, not saying I enjoyed when he was down, but I liked that when he was down, I'd have his back. He knew he could turn to me, I could turn to him. I didn't have to go outside of my home, our home, to find anything. I enjoyed the fuck out of that. I loved it. But when it got bad and it wasn't able to be fixed because he wasn't trying to fix it, it's time to move on. I also have to show my daughters, just because it was good and it goes bad doesn't mean that you can't fix it, but if the other move on, because all you're going to be doing is wasting your time.
That's why you
a lot of what you're saying is lacking accountability, though. Like, you're lacking all accountability.
I went to counseling.
No, because you said that. You just said that only he could fix it. You said only he could fix it. That's both people's. That's both people. Both
he
people.
could fix it. I was the one going to counseling.
Right? Hold on, Shorty. Because like, there are a small substrata of women, right, who genuinely are okay with not having children, not having a family, not being married, and all that. Like, I do believe there's like a small, minute few.
That's a fact.
She might be one of those women. I'm not trying to take that away from her, but I don't want that life for my children. I don't.
Nobody does. You think my mother wanted this life? Hold on. You really think my mother wanted this life for me? Hell no. Like, when I was telling her what the problems and all that kind of shit were, first of all, my mother didn't even live to see us go through a divorce.
For your children to have children and carry on your legacy and so on.
But see, here's the crazy thing. My mother, up until she passed away, was married happily for 40 years. My grandparents married happily for over 60 years. I would like to hear good marriages.
No. Can I just say one thing, please? Can I say one thing? We have to stop putting our parents into our marriages. Like, it's one thing to go to family and enjoy it, but the second you take that mate and disparage him in front of your mom, you just created somebody to get you out your marriage.
I never did it. Let me tell you a real story. When my mother passed away, me and my mother were beefing because I was always taking my husband's side. As she taught me to, when you get married, that's your man, you take his side. When my mother passed away, we were beefing. Like,
what side?
I had to go to counseling
why did she know there was a side, though, Queen? Why did she know there was a side? How did she know there was a side?
So when we started the business, money gets in the way. People wanted money. We not giving up on no money. It was some shit going on in the family. People felt like we should help pay. I felt like, no, the fuck we shouldn't. So there was beef in the family. The beef had really nothing to do with him, but because of how my family's set up, they're not, well, not everybody, but my mom was pretty much thinking like it was him that was saying no. The whole time it was me saying no. So me and her was going head to head because she coming for him, and it's like, he ain't got nothing to do with it. It's me, Mom. You know what I'm saying? So when she passed, there was beef. Understood, I love my mom, my mama love me, but I chose my husband. So when our relationship got bad, when our marriage got bad at the end, it was kind of like, dog, I done went up the back for you time and time and time and time again up against my family, who's always been solid, always shown me that they're going to have my back. Now you tripping. I can't have that. One of y'all two got to get cut the fuck off. You tripping right here in my house. My family's still showing me solidarity. So I'm going to go back to my family until you stop tripping. It's that simple.
You know what? You know a husband.
I wanted to touch. I really want to change. I'm not gonna lie, Spaz. Like, I don't want to talk about nobody's personal life. So I want to.
I agree. I think it is already.
So Jenny
past
said
where we need to be.
Jenny said, my father always told me to date for money. I didn't like that, so I never dated anyone based on their income. As you grow, you learn your own way. So for me, right, ideally, so my plan is to teach my daughters to go after a man with a high level of competence. And part of that has to do with the way he makes a living, honestly. Like, are you going to be okay with your daughters settling for a 35-year-old working, flipping burgers at McDonald's? Let's be honest. No, you're not. You're not going to want your daughters to settle for that. Why? Because you're going to question this man and wonder, what the hell did he do for the past 15 years, 17 years of his life after high school, that the only high quality job he could ever get is flipping burgers? There's something off there.
That's crazy.
Would you want someone to settle for that? No. And obviously a man at 35 years old should want better for himself as well. That exudes a level of incompetence, and that's something that no woman wants in a man, I would hope. Mm-hmm. So it really does. It has to do with money, but then again, it don't. It has to do with your level of competence that you show.
Well, what if your daughter
with the type of career that you have?
What if the nigga is working, but he's got access to maybe buy the burger joint? He just don't know how to. But your daughter has that how to. He just has the.
If he has access to buy a
he's
burger,
got the credit. He's got the credit to kind of.
Baby girl, like, it's not.
He's got the credit. No, I'm saying it because that's like, I'm saying it because, like, I've met people in places like that. Like, I've met dudes. I met an HVAC motherfucker who, like, was working under somebody, but I basically just told him, like, look, all you gotta do is go get the license. Now this nigga owns his own HVAC business.
Well, you could teach niggas how to get their lives together. I'm not doing that, and I don't think.
No, you're not teaching them. You just dropping a dime. You just dropping a dime in their ear. Like, you just dropping wisdom in their ear. Like, all you gotta do is get the license and the certificate and the LLC. You can do that shit yourself. What if they just don't know? Like, because some people, that sometimes just, like, common knowledge isn't always common for everybody. Sometimes people be having what they need. They just don't know how to use it to get to where it is that they're going. Because I've definitely seen people work in the subway, turn right around, and now they own the subway. So
I don't know about y'all, but I don't know. I'm sending a different message to my kid, bro, to be honest. I'm not gonna be the type to, cause I'm not the type to be like, oh, I support my man if he's selling hot dogs on the corner, nigga. No, nigga. I'm telling my man to be.
But what if he owns the? What if he owns it?
Hold on.
It's LLC. That's a tax write-off,
I'm
telling
my
money.
nigga to be better than that. Like, my nigga ain't gonna be selling hot dogs. I'm supposed to be on the corner like, yeah, just help me with the ketchup. Fuck out of here. Fuck, I look like. No, like, I'm not doing that.
Well, I mean, that's why I started off. I'm teaching my daughters how to do their own shit now. Like, you gotta come on my page and see my daughter's her artwork, her NFTs. Like, she makes her own little money.
Selling for a nigga that's selling hot dogs, though. Your daughter's gonna take in what you're settling for, not what you're saying. Because kids
Mhm.
care about action more than words. I promise you that.
And they pay attention. That's for damn sure.
And they definitely do pay attention. So you could tell your daughters and your sons what type of women and men they should go after. But if you're not going after those type of men and women, they're not gonna give a shit what you're telling them. That's a fact.
Well, that's the fortunate thing about my kids. They seen the business. They seen like mom and dad own their own business. So that's the difference.
That's how you do it.
Mhm.
You pass down the business to them.
Can I make a
And
public
vice versa.
service
Because my
announcement?
parents own their own business.
Look, y'all, before y'all get married, please go to marriage counseling before y'all get married. Before
Yo,
you
these
get married.
random
I made
messages
that
I'm
mistake.
convinced are like subs.
I made that mistake too. I didn't go to marriage counseling. Go to marriage counseling before you think you want to marry this person. Go to marriage counseling before you get married. Please. It goes a long way.
To be honest, you're really missing the main point. Put God in the center of your fucking
Yeah,
relationship, and I
thank you.
promise you,
Facts.
Thank you. And your
everything else
business. Are
is.
you teaching your
You don't
daughters to
need
put God
marriage
into the
counseling.
business?
You
Yes.
really don't.
That's it. That's the problem.
You put God in
Thank
the
you,
center
Shy.
of everything.
That's why you and I click
and
so
your
well. Because
relationship
when
will
you start
last.
really thinking and your head starts spinning, you realize you're in confusion. You realize why you're there because there's no God.
Yeah.
Easy call.
That's what I'm saying.
Easy call. Wait. Did you and your husband pray together?
Yeah, that's key.
Talk that shit.
You gotta be able to
Did you
pray
guys
for
remember to
your
do
spouse.
that? Because I know you
Did
remember to
we
do the
pray
hookups, right?
together?
Because you told. Yeah, because I know you told me you kept the sexual energy alive, but did you remember to keep the
Yeah,
energy
most
that brought you
definitely.
together alive?
And you know what's crazy, Swaz?
I'm not religious, so I can't say God brought us together. I'm not religious.
So
You don't have to be
So I can't
religious
say that.
to
Do
be.
you believe in a higher power?
No, you just asked me, do I? No, I don't pray. I don't pray.
Well,
Anyway,
well then,
so-
sis. Well, can I ask you a favor? Can you just
What?
give a shout out to God and ask Him if you brought me together and we belong together? Can you move the things out of my life that bring Him back into my life? And if we don't belong together and we belong apart, can you bring to me
I've
the
already
light in
done
my
that.
heart so I can find what I want? So how
I've
did you
already
do that
done
if you
that.
don't pray to God? Who did you talk to?
I've already done that. I talk to the person I've always talked to. I got somebody I talk to. OG.
Oh, so okay.
I
So
talk to OG.
I didn't
Now
mention
she
Jesus
prays.
because
Hold on. She prays. She's a praying person. So I talk to that person, but I don't pray.
you use a person to talk to God for you.
I don't. That's what you fail to realize. I don't believe. I'm not a believer. I'm not. I don't ban no. I don't ban no. You know what I'm saying? I don't comfort nobody for, but I don't pray. I don't pray. I'm a troll because I don't pray. I don't troll. I'm a troll because I don't pray.
Can I ask you something?
My
I
message
might have to get off this live.
my whole family's
I don't
religious.
wanna
I have
believe.
it's Catholics on my dad's side, and then it's Baptist on my mom's side.
I haven't slept. I don't really got
It's all right. It's all right, Shy. I understand. It's all right. And you know what? What's crazy is like you as soon as you said it, then it all makes sense.
Come on, bro. Like,
make it make sense.
you don't think I'm knowing,
First of all, sis, why would you get married? The actual thing that God constitutes for man, like one of His ordained. Why use marriage? If you don't understand what it was, why use it? I don't
Who
get
said
it.
I
I don't
didn't
get why people
understand
would get.
marriage?
Sis, you get married. Listen.
You
get married before the eyes of the Lord. Yes. You get
I
married
got
before
married
the eyes
at
of
a
the Lord.
courthouse. I didn't get married in a church. I got married at a courthouse, my nigga. You
So
get
why
married
do you
in
think-
church.
why
I'm
do you
not
think-
religious.
why do
He's
you
not
think-
religious
why do you
either.
think? Wait. Where do you think marriage stems from? Do you think this was a construct of man? Do you think we just came up with this randomly? Is that what you thought?
No, I know. Look, I grew up in the church, so I understand it. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of different religions out here. So people are getting married under the construct of God, some kind of God. But I didn't get married. I got married because I loved that person. It didn't have to do anything with God. I love that person. That person showed me what I needed to see to be married at that time. And he's still showing that.
And that person was supposed to show you God, Queen.
And I think he did to an extent. I think he tried.
That was his job.
I'm not as religious as he is.
If he tried to lead you from the word, you wouldn't be here right now. If he tried to lead you with the word, we wouldn't even be having these discussions. That's a fact. I already know.
That's not true. That's not true.
I already know. If the word was the head of your household and he made sure that he himself did everything in his power to try and abide by it and try to make sure that he give you the instruction so you can abide by it, I promise you it would have been different. I promise you.
It could have been, or we could have ended in divorce anyway. Because it wasn't like the counselor that we went to, they were religious. I went back to the church. That's the thing. I went back to the church to find healing and help. He didn't want to come.
I'm not condemning her at all. I'm just telling her that if she would just allow God into her life, if she would allow God into her life, she would see a drastic change. Why not try it? She already did 6 years.
What change is it that you think I'm looking for?
I'm just thinking that your heart could be...
How do you know I haven't already reached out differently?
I feel like your heart could be softer. Like, I deal with people on a consistent basis. I'm not saying it's not soft. I'm saying it could be softer to the situation that you already built, to the family you already built. You already built something, and you're walking away from it. You're walking away from something you've already built. You already got everything people are looking for. You already have. And you don't see it because I don't know why. I can't tell you.
See, you are like everybody else. I see it, but that person has to fix themselves. I'm not going to be with, here's the thing. I'm not going to show my daughters that it's okay to stay with somebody that's just going to continuously fuck up your life and what you got planned. Just out of the respect, because we're married. No. Get yourself together. Get back to what you used to be. Or better yet, not even what you used to be. Be better than what you used to be. But get to that next point where you need to be, where we can be good. Because as of right now, how you moving, it's not productive to what we need to be as a family. I could be in that house. I could be in that house right now, and we would both be miserable as fuck because we're both not trying to be better people than what we were. That's why I just decided why don't we just separate? That way we can fix it. We can find what the problem is, the issue is. Because with us being in that house together, it was too fucking toxic. It was toxic as hell. Like I'm talking about iron frying pans being thrown across the house.
Listen, Quinn, I'm not saying it wasn't toxic. I'm not saying you didn't go through what you went through. I'm asking you if you know that what you tried during the relationship didn't work, right? Would you consider trying something different? Because don't you think right now that when you already said it was so good at first, everything was so perfect, and then it blew up in your hand, right? Do you want to recreate that again? Because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen if you continue to act like you can do it without God. I'm telling you. It's going to look perfect at first. Everything's going to be perfect.
Whoa. First of all, I never said that there wasn't anything that I could do without him. I just said I'm not that religious. So he's not the first person I'm going to go to. That's one. He's not the first person I'm going to call on because I'm not that religious. That's what that is.
You and your husband didn't have a spiritual connection then, right? Is that what you're saying, too?
I didn't. He was more religious than I was. I didn't. I did not. He did. But I didn't.
That spiritual connection can go a long way, though.
I know it can't. Like I said, I've seen it. I've seen over 60 years my grandparents stayed together. And my grandfather wasn't churchy, but I mean, you know, I saw them pray together. I saw my mom and my stepfather pray together. But at the same time, I'm watching my mom and my stepfather pray together. My stepfather abused me. So you got to understand, like, I don't just fall over and like, oh, God, help me. Where the fuck was God at back then? When I was a child,
you do know people are praying for forgiveness, though, Queen. You do know that he's getting on his knees and seeking for forgiveness.
I told my stepfather I forgave him a long time ago. I forgave him 10 years ago for that shit because I understood it was drugs and all that kind of stuff you had going on. You and my mom. Y'all was trying to function through y'all bullshit. I understood it. We went to church. I sat down, told my parents, I forgive all three of y'all, stepfather, mother, and my father. Forgive each and every single one of y'all for whatever the bullshit y'all put on me that I have to heal from as an adult. Did that. Healed from it. While in my marriage, went to counseling for it. Because I could tell that shit was fucking up my marriage. I pulled my shit together. All I needed him to do was pull his shit together. He had his own trauma he was dealing with too. He just couldn't admit that shit. I'm not going to sit here and be your punching bag for your trauma. Dead. That's why the marriage ended. You don't want to deal with your trauma the right way. You want to be violent. You want to act out. You want to sit up here and talk about your mama in a bad way. Understand, we have daughters. We have sons. You sitting up here going at your mama. I'm a mama. You talking about their grandmother. Instead of going to try and heal from this shit, you just causing more problems. I don't want to be with somebody like that. Heal from your shit. It wasn't me just walking away from a marriage, just saying, fuck it. No. If you want to be godly, you want to be religious, you want to call on him, then you need to call on him to help you fix your problems. I haven't called on him, and I fixed my shit. I'm good. I went to my mother's grave and told her, like, we are good. I'm not mad at you. I went to my stepfather.
Right now,
you
babe.
could never be. You could never be around my children. But I'm good with you. I get it. I understand. Somebody molested you when you was a child. I went back and talked to your mama to try and figure out what the fuck was going on. You never healed right from your shit. So I get it. I'm good. Went to my dad. You was never there for me. But it's okay because you made me a strong-ass person. So it's cool. I'm good. I needed him to be good, and he wasn't good. So it was fucking up with us. It was fucking the money up. The kids was fucking up. So it's like, all right, this is too much. This is too toxic. And on top of that, I can't even talk to you. And I'm trying to talk to you, not talk at you, but really talk to you. And you getting hostile with me. Nah, bro, you don't want to be married. You don't want a wife. Because that's what a wife's supposed to do. I'm supposed to come in, nurture you, and be there for you and have your back. You didn't want that. You was too hostile towards me. So I'm going to leave. That's what happened. It wasn't me just walking away from a marriage. It was me walking away trying to make sure I don't mess up or waste time for the rest of my life trying to deal with somebody that's really not trying to deal with their shit the right way. Because I dealt with mine. I definitely had more childhood trauma than he did. I got raped at 5 years old. Like, I had more shit to unpack than he did. And I unpacked it. I got it out of the way so I could be a more functioning person. Fuck being a functioning person. So I could be a more functioning mother. I wasn't even functioning properly as a mom because I was dealing with my shit. Once I unpacked it and got it all out, that's when I realized, you know what, life comes down to this. You either gonna deal with your shit and carry that shit with you to the grave, or you gonna unpack that shit, let it go, and live your life the best way you can. And that's what I chose to do. And if that means walking away from a marriage, walking away from something that was good, walking away from my kids, letting them stay right where they at so I can continue on my career and what it is I need to do, then that's just what the fuck I'm going to do. Because that's just how life dealt its cards to me. It was like, this is what you could choose. Choose these cards. And all my cards were fucked up. So, at the end of the day, I chose to make lemonade out of the lemons that I was given. If you don't like how it tastes, that's not my problem. Stop fucking with the lemonade.
If I may, good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Swab.
Good morning.
My name is Trinity, for those who don't
Trinity, can you do me a favor? Can you hold 1 second? Babe, right now, please.
Yeah.
Babe, right now,
Oh my
please.
God, I feel her pain.
Just hold that thought for
I
me,
will.
please,
Go
Woz.
ahead.
Babe, what you doing, bro? Did we lose Babe?
Yeah, he's spinning. Oh, I hear him.
Oh my God. Come on, God.
You might have to drop him and just bring him back up.
Hello?
Babe, I'm gonna bring you right back, bro.
Yeah,
Wait, can you hear me?
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm back. Yeah. I'm here.
Right now, babe. Come on, babe.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I hear you perfectly.
Y'all can hear me?
It's time. Yes, brother.
Okay. Everybody bow their heads and close their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, before I get into my prayer, what's your name, young lady? Lovin? Ali Lovin? What's your nickname? What they call you? What they call you nickname as far as the nickname? Because if I'm going to pray for you, I do.
It's Ali.
Okay. Everybody bow their heads and close their eyes. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you on behalf of Allie, Father. We ask you to heal her heart, Father. We ask you to intervene in her situation on her behalf, Father. We just ask you to be the guiding light to her heart, that she may get over everything that she's dealt with in the past, Father. And we ask you to fix her marriage, Father. Intercede in her husband's heart and in his mind, Father. Please correct all the wrongs that they've done to each other, Father. We just ask you right now, Father, to keep their family out of their marriage, Father, so that they can focus on themselves and their children, Father. We just ask you humbly, Father, because we know that you won't put too much on us that we can't handle, Father. So I just ask you and plead with you, Father, that Allie needs help, Father. She needs you right now, Father. That you may come into the midst, Father, and connect both of these two souls that are kind of lost, Father. That they may come together once again, Father. We ask you to remove the abuse, Father. We ask you to protect their children from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet, Father, so they can be productive adults when they get older and to learn from their parents' mistakes, Father. This will we ask in your glorious name. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Thank you, babe.
Amen.
Thank
You're
you, bro.
welcome. You're welcome.
Sorry, wife.
No. It's perfect. It's good. It's what was needed. Allie, if I may, at the age of 8, my my cousin's son's father molested me. I went and told my parents this as soon as it happened. They didn't believe me. In fact, they apologized to him. Okay? They didn't believe me. While it may have never happened with him ever again, it happened with 2 more other family members' boyfriends. And the only reason it stopped was because I tried to commit suicide at the age of 12. And by doing that, I was removed from the home and was placed into a adolescent treatment facility for at-risk youths, you know. After that, I definitely tried to regain back my power in the way that it was lost, and I weaponized my, my cooter, for lack of better terms, and um, I wasn't happy, you know. I was always on guard in these relationships. I couldn't trust men because my father, the one who was supposed to protect me, he failed me. And not only did he fail me, seemingly, he seemed like to me at that time, like yesterday, he left and never came back home. It would just so happen that one day I realized that daddy hasn't been home for a while. Fast forward, I got pregnant at 16 because I thought having a baby would be easier to love than ever having somebody as a husband. So from 16, I already had my mind set I was never going to get married. Because every man that I loved left me. My brother, because of our age difference, we were 11 years apart. So after high school, he went off into the Marines. So to my little mind, he left. And he left me with these men who kept hurting me. My dad left me to be hurt by these men. My mom was very religious. I would even say too religious. So religious that she didn't even believe in the crap that she said, type religious, because her and my dad divorced, she was never really truly home because she had to pick up, his portion of the bills and his financial responsibility. Granted, she was getting child support, but it apparently wasn't enough because she was working double shifts and overtime, and it's just me by myself in the house. I My first daughter, when she was 12, I found out that uh, a family friend who was coming on Saturday nights to go to church with my mother on Sundays was touching her, inappropriately touching her. And one day she just couldn't take it anymore and she broke down and she told me. I did the necessary steps and he was put behind bars. Then I had another daughter, 12 years later. And I got married. I got married to the guy that I knew since I was 10 because his family grew up on my block. So we were very close and familiar. Lost touch. 23 years later, we reconnect through Facebook. We get together and we get married. One day, I decided to go to my girlfriend's beauty salon, which is just a short 2-block walk, because he worked nights. It was a beautiful day. I didn't want to spend the day in the house, so I decided to take that walk. Long story short, her wedding dress wasn't going to arrive in time. Her wedding was in 5 days. So I offered to take her to where I got my wedding dress just 3 years prior, and she came to my wedding. She saw what the dress looked like. She agreed. I told her to take me back to my house, drive me back to my house so that I can get my pocketbooks. So that, if I want to go shopping, I can buy me something too. So I go in the house. The husband is acting really weird. I asked, pertinent questions and felt comfortable enough to leave and say, when I get back, we can deal with the situation then. As I'm sitting in her car, looking through my bag to make sure I have everything, she asks, why are the police at your door? No, at your house, talking to your husband who's at the door. Mind you, I just left the house. I just walked across the street to sit in a car. I never saw the cops walk up. I never saw the cop car, officers. And I heard the door close behind me. So I'm confused as to how this all happened without me even knowing that it was going on. So I get up my stand next to my husband, in the doorway, and I asked, what's going on, why you're here. Nobody answered me. The cop asked my ex-husband for his ID, and he says he doesn't have one. Oh, now I'm curious, and now I'm confused. Why are you lying? One thing he knows about me, don't lie, right? And he lied to the police, and about something as so minuscule as his ID. But I said, I asked, why does he need to give you his ID? You got him from inside the house. Of course, again, they ignored me, and they went back and forth, and then after a while, the police officer got annoyed, and he said, well, I was trying to spare you the embarrassment from having your wife find out that we're here because to arrest you for raping a minor.
What? Wow.
As you can imagine, my whole entire reality disintegrated right before my eyes. In that moment, I didn't even know who the hell I was standing next to. He, in that moment, became a complete stranger to me. And I started to feel dirty all over again. And everything I thought I would do if a man would ever do that to my child, it never happened because it wasn't my child. So they take him away. And I have to figure out how the hell am I supposed to explain to my youngest, to my daughter and his daughter, who was 17 at the time, who we had full custody of, what happened to what happened to him. All right. So they come home and I tell them what happened and they say, oh, we knew that already. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, it happened last summer when you were at work. What? And I knew who it was. So then my daughter goes, yeah, and he's been touching me too. And his daughter said, yeah, that's why when she's down here, I try to protect her from daddy. What? What? Now I got to get my behind up and take my child to the precinct where I had to face her father again because it was her stepsister that he did that to. He came with his wife to my house with the police. I didn't even notice their presence until I turned around to go back into my home, and then I seen a crowd had formed behind me, and they were at the forefront. That's when I knew who the girl was. And all I can say to them was, I'm sorry I failed you. Then now to go to the precinct and look that man in his face, because he knew my story. And we were together when my oldest daughter, came forward. So he knew the history. And I failed to protect his children. The same way I failed to protect my first one, which is no different than my family, my parents failing to protect me. That was my thought back then. So while we were at the precinct, he was sitting in the car. I walked to his car, and I apologized again. And he said, I don't need to apologize. He doesn't blame me. He know I had no idea what was going on because he knew what I would do had I known. That felt great, but I didn't feel better. So for a long time, I walked around moving on autopilot. I'm not thinking, I'm just moving. I felt like a shell, an empty shell, as if I was an abyss. Empty, dark. I felt every emotion imaginable, and many I cannot put names to, because they're not in the English vocabulary. But they were there. So, one day I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I said, it's time for me to conquer this too, because I overcame everything else. I gotta overcome this. Because the option to die is not there for me. Not now. I wanted to. I planned it. I got all the pills together. I went out and bought a nice big bottle of Ray & Nephew's Jamaican rum because I just wanted to die in my sleep. But the guilt of my youngest one finding me and then discovering how I died, she would have made the reasons why, meaning that she would have blamed herself for telling me. She would have felt guilty for telling me. She would have wished that I would have never known, and she would have walked around her life with that burden of responsibility that I chose for myself. She didn't choose that for me. I would have. So I had to live. So I lived out of guilt of what she may go through in her upcoming years. And I figured she needed a chance at life. So I decided to live. And I also decided to live without being bitter, without being angry. And I looked up to my ceiling and I said, God, if you are out there like everyone says that you are, because I sure as hell can't see it, if you are out there, you're going to have to prove it to me. You're going to have to prove it to me. If you want me to believe that you're out there and that you're some great this and some magnificent that, you're going to have to make a damn believer out of me, because right now I don't see it and I don't feel it. So I will make a vow to you that if you help me heal completely, I promise you, I will do everything I can to help someone else who may be suffering alone by themselves as I was. because I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't tell my friends right away. I was ashamed. And in the back of my heart, I knew that hurting people hurts people. So for him to do that monstrous act, would have to have been 100 times greater, because he cannot escape from himself, you see. So I knew that I couldn't tell my friends because they would want to bash him. And I don't think you should bash somebody who's already hurting just because they are expressing their hurt the best way they could. I can never believe that for anyone. And I also knew that what he did was horrific, but as a man, the man that I grew to know and who I eventually fell in love with, I knew him. And he was not a monster. But his actions were horrific, catastrophic, disastrous even. But the person that I knew him to be, I was able to separate him from the act. I couldn't tell my parents, my mom, because, well, she wasn't even in the States. I couldn't tell my siblings because we were not that close. But I did call my brother, my big brother, you know? And I told him. And in the end, he blamed me. He said I didn't do everything I could have done to stop him, because if it were him, it would have never happened to his children. So the one family member that I really trusted as an adult to help me through the same, I felt as if I was 8 years old all over again. But just a grown-up version. So I told God that I will help someone else who was going through it alone. And I promised him that I will bring them back to him so that they can find the space for healing that I got it. And I will up it even better, God. If you are that good to be able to do that, when he gets out of prison, I will work with him and I will bring him back to you too. But you got to prove yourself to me first, because I can't do this alone. I will hurt people. I will kill people. Because I don't want to live, but I don't want to die by my own hands. So I will make it to where I would have to be killed. Because I cannot live anymore with this pain. So you got to prove it to me that there is a reason that life is worth living through everything I've freaking been through. Talking to you, Allie. Telling you that I know that everything that I've been through was for you. It was never for me. It happened to me because God built me this way. There is nothing that I can face that I cannot handle. Why? Because I am not fighting the battle alone. This space of healing that I found, the ability to tell my story that has now effectively become a testimony to say the healing that you are seeking, honey, you have not yet felt it, but you are well on your way. Because I can relate to when I had to give up my daughter to her father. Because I was so broken, I was so damaged that I knew that if she stayed with me at the rate she was going, she would not have a chance at life. So I had to pocket my ego, flush my pride away, and call her father and tell him I am not the mother that he needs me to be for his daughter. And I would need him and his wife to take up my responsibilities because I have to figure shit out. I can't be good for anyone until I do. And 3 years later, she came back and moved back with me. She only came to move back with me because during the COVID, she got stuck here during the spring break. She lived in another state. And in September of the same year, her father passed. The one man that was truly there for me died. But I'm glad that the last text that I ever received from him was, "I love you." Because I brought him to God too. And I want to invite you to join us to where you can see that your pain was for a purpose, a grander purpose, God's initiative, so that he can utilize your vessel, utilize your vocal cords, utilize your hands, utilize your feet, so that he, through you, can pour into those who don't know him yet. You see, you can't know God if your life is all grand and honky-dory and all things are going great. No, that's not where you find God. You find God where you are at your lowest and there's no one else around. And then he proves himself by showing up and showing out. He will change your life in a way that you will be unrecognizable to yourself. You won't even know who you were anymore because you would have been made anew, transformed, not changed. Water changes into ice, that changes into water, that changes into gas. But transformation is the butterfly entering the cocoon and transforming into a whole new different creature. Where it once crawled, it now flies. Where it was once local, it is now all around. It's free. You are healed when you are free from the bondage of the pain of telling your story. Where your story doesn't become something of a hindrance to you to tell, but it becomes hope to someone else, and it draws them to you. It brings them to you because it's within you. Do they find that comfort? Do they find that safety? Do they find that healing space, you see? Your pain, that cross that you are carrying, was never for you and always for us, because we need to see you get up, because we need to know what it looks like for you to get up. We need to know that when we go down, we're capable of getting up, because damn it, Allie got up. You see over there, Allie got up. Allie got up, so there, I know that I can get up. Allie not only got up, but she got up and she dusted herself off, and she took that first step forward, and she put another foot in front of the other, and she kept it moving. I'm watching Allie do it, so I know I can get it for myself, because she's the example that I need to guide me to where she's going, because it is the destiny in which I want to reach. You see, that's where I want to go in destiny. Look, she's going there. She's creating that pathway. Look at her. I'm following Allie. Your stuff was for. God was there because God kept you alive, sweetheart, so that you can hear him today. Some people ask me sometimes, where was God when they were molesting me? I said he was right there, because one of them decided not to penetrate me like he did my cousin and transferred the AIDS virus, the HIV AIDS to her. She died. No one knew he had the disease, and she died. God put it into his heart to, yeah, you know, you got the free will, but buddy, don't kill her. It's like with Job, when Satan came to God up in heaven and God asked, where's Satan? Where have you been? And Satan said, oh, I was just roaming the earth. And God said to Satan, well, have you met my faithful servant Job? You know, and because Job, you know, he is fearful of me in that he reverence me and respects me and he trusts me. And the devil, Satan, said, yeah, well, you know, he only does that because of all of the stuff that you gave him. But if you take it away, I bet you he'll curse you. God said, yo, whatever, you can do that, but don't touch him. So Satan came, and lo and behold, killed his handmaids and servants. They killed his workers, and they stole all of his livestock. And Job was a really rich dude back then. But Job didn't curse God. You know what I'm saying? Job is true. In fact, Job just continued to pray harder. So Satan went back up to God up in heaven, and God asked, hey, where are you coming from? And Satan said, I've been roaming the earth, you know, doing what I do. God asked Satan, as if God never knew this. He said, well, have you met my faithful servant Job? And, you know, the whole spiel went on. And Job said, well, the only reason why he is faithful is because, well, he still has his family. God said, do whatever you want, but don't touch him. So God, you know, so Satan came down back to the earth, and, well, after dinner with the 10 children, Job went home. The next day he finds out that all 10 of his children have perished in a house fire. Job didn't curse God. You know, the wife was like, yo, why don't you just curse God and be done with it and just die? You know what Job told me? He said, woman, why don't you just, like, shut the hell up, man? You know, God giveth and God taketh away. Who am I to question God's reasons? I get it. It's what God do. And God and Job stayed, you know what I'm saying, faithful. Satan went back up one more again. Yo, what up, G? God asked like he always do. Yo, what's going on with you? Where you coming from? Satan was like, yo, you know me, I was just roaming the earth, right? So he was like, yo, have you met my faithful servant Job? You know, there's nothing he won't do to praise me for all that he has. He recognizes my goodness, and he spreads goodness about. So Satan got slick, right? He's like, yo, the only reason why he does all of that is because he's healthy. You know what I mean? Like, nothing happened to him. I said, yeah, you think so? Yeah, all right, go ahead, go do your thing. But check it. Don't kill him. So Job woke up one day with a whole bunch of sores and boils from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Like, he was, dude was mad uncomfortable. He was sitting amongst the ashes. He's using clay to scratch his skin because his nails just wasn't getting it. Make the long story short, 3 of his friends came, tried to tell Job that it's pretty much Job's fault and that Job may have done something in the dark that has now come to light because God works the way that God works because of how they think that God is, right? In the end, God recognized that Job recognized that, you know what? I can't help what happened. But what I can know is that God will bring me out of everything that has happened because he has done it since, and he must continue to do so later. And God was so pleased that Job got the message, and he replaced everything that Job lost tenfold. Instead of having 10 children, he got 20 children. All his livestock were doubled. His handmaids were tripled. And he found a God-fearing wife, you see. So where was God when all of this was happening to me? God was right there. When Satan was moving other people to do what he wanted them to do, and they were being obedient to Satan, God was faithful and loyal to me and he protected me from the worst. I could not be here right now. Truly had his way. So I want to say this to you, my love. Your strength is in your faith, and your testimony is in your story. But your love first has to be in God, that he brought you this far, even though we have free will. And God is not a tyrant. God is not an imposing God. God is not fake and hypocritical. If God gave you something, honey, you got it. And we all got the same thing. So just like these men had their free will to do what they decided to do to the innocent, God has the power to protect us from the worst that can happen. You are at a point in your life right now where you truly use everything that you've been through for good. But your healing can never be for you, but it has to be for the people like myself. Because we depend on people like you.
Allie, you gotta mute yourself, man.
To go forward. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but you know, I know anyone that was trying to listen. It's hard.
Oh, I was listening. I was listening.
Oh, I know you were. I know you were. No, but I mean, there was like some clanging going on. I'm talking about for everyone else.
Oh, I'm moving around. My bad. I'm moving around. My fault.
Yeah. No, it's all right.
But I was listening though.
It's all right.
So what do you think about what I said, Allie?
I want to start first by thank you for sharing your story. You know, I take all that under consideration. But secondly, like, a lot of what you said has already been said to me before. And it's been said to me by people that I love and respect. And I'm going to give you the same answer I give them. Just like your Bible say, God know my heart, he know my heart. So he knows when I'm ready to come to him, I'm going to come to him. But he knows I'm not ready yet. Because I am where I am in my process. I never ever said that I would never get back to the church or get back to God. I just said as of right now, if you're there, you'll be there, right? If he's there, he'll be there. And when I'm ready to go to him, I'm going to go to him. It's that simple. Like,
I get that.
Like, I'm, you know, like, I prayed to you. I prayed to him to get my mother off drugs. He did that. He didn't do it when I asked him to when I was a child. He did it when I was an adult. But she gave my children 10 years of soberness. Meaning my younger brothers and sisters who were still going through high school, middle school, they got to see a sober mom. Like I said, it didn't happen when I asked for it, but it happened. So I know to some extent what you put out there, what you pray for, what you pray to, it can manifest itself for you. But I'm one of the people that's like, I was always having problems. So I can pray all day up and down the board, but I also too know that at some point I will have to go in and solve my own problem, or the problem's going to remain. Like when I did go to my mother and finally tell her what was going on with my stepfather, she kicked me out of the house. No other mother would ever probably do that. Maybe, I don't know. But she kicked me out of the house. I went and took that. I didn't feel no ill will. I still was going to church at that point. I took that and was just like, well, shit, maybe God's trying to tell me it's time to grow up. Yeah, I'm only 16, but fuck it. I've been taking care of all her fucking responsibilities my whole life, technically. Every child she's had has been my responsibility. So maybe God's trying to tell me you can do this shit by yourself. Just, you know, do what you need to do. Then other stuff started to happen as I was an adult while still going to church. So it's not like I just completely was like, forget the church. Like, I was still trying to hang in there, but then stuff just kept happening. It's like, all right, look, I know you there. You going to be there. You got my back. All I'm asking is protect my children. That's it. Just look out for them. Have they back. Please. and just let me deal with my shit how I need to deal with it. But eventually, I am probably, maybe, get back to going to church. I mean, the two people that had me really going and trying to hang in there, they're both gone. My mother and my grandmother. My mother was never really that religious. My grandmother, she was like a deacon, but I mean.
Can I ask you a question, huh? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. What's that?
Where do you think you was just at?
What you mean?
What do you think this is?
This platform?
What do you think this is, huh? Did this feel like anything else besides church to you?
Fellowship.
I mean, yeah, it did. It definitely did. That's why I'm being honest about my feelings. It definitely feels like church. I'm being very honest about my feelings.
Right. So my point is, you could bring the church to you. You don't have to go to the church.
Right.
Oh no, yeah,
you
I
can bring the church to you. Listen, just by you come, listen, hun, just by you coming together with your boys, your daughters, whatever you have, in the middle of the kitchen and holding hands and talking to God and expressing what you are grateful for and what you wish you could have with some help with. You guys are experiencing church because you guys are going to bring them in the midst, just like we just brought them in the midst. Do you realize that this live could go in any direction? Do you know that there's people in here that troll on a consistent basis that haven't said one disrespectful thing to you? Not one, because they recognize where we are and that you need help. And I hear you keep talking about a church, but I'm telling you it's not about a church. It's about a relationship with God. It's about you establishing a relationship with God.
I keep referencing church. That's what I'm saying. I am not on the road of getting back into a relationship with God right now. I'm not on that road right now.
But can I ask you a question?
What's that?
If he's consistently fulfilling his promise to you, right? Why do you want to avoid him so much? I don't get it. Because he offers you the ability. The first gift he gives you is free will, right? You've been dealing with that for 32 years. You did whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. Good times, bad times, right? You are so assured that tomorrow you're going to get the same 86,400 seconds. You are just so positive when you don't know that, Queen. You do not know that.
I don't. But what
I know
you don't, and what a lot of people don't realize around me is,
Queen.
I'm satisfied with where my soul. Here's the thing, though. I'm satisfied wherever place my soul decides to go. If my soul hasn't settled itself, and I don't get them next 84,000 seconds, it's like 84,300 some odd seconds, I don't get them. I just don't get them. That's why I say, like, I'm happy where I'm at in life. I'm okay. If I get back into a great relationship with God, then I'll be exuberant in life. But right now, I'm happy. I've not been this happy ever in life, with or without God. I've never been this happy. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. I've never been this happy. And I've had joyful things happen, births of my children, going out of the country, meeting people, seeing things, doing things. But this is the kind of happiness is like y'all all talking about. My soul is happy. Like, I sound shaky because I've never been this happy. And I'm waiting for the ball to drop on my happiness. Never been this happy. Thought I was this happy 6 years ago when I got married. This is not the same. This is something else. That's why I said, that's why I keep saying I'm never not going to get back on the path of God. But right now, it's like I've not had you in my life and been pretty happy. When I had you in my life, I was the most miserable person ever. And I was coming to you genuinely. So it's not like I turned my back. I've just kind of been like, hey, let me see what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been around. And I was very miserable. I was going through a lot, dealing with a lot. I appreciate the strength given to me, but I'm happy. Like, head to toe happy. Totally different person. Moving in the right direction. And these are people, this is coming from people who been praying for me since before I knew what my own 2 feet looked like. They were praying for me in the womb. They were praying for me before I was in the womb. So they've even said it's a change. You different. You moving different. and they like it. These are God-fearing people. These are people that call on him when they stub their toe. And they're like, you moving different. You seem different. But it's good. It's a good kind of different. Like, you're really genuinely happy.
And I would never
So
say that. Listen, I'm not trying to say you aren't happy. Listen, I'm not trying to say you aren't happy, Queen. What I'm telling you is that everything that you thought you had with God, if it was through man, it wasn't yours. You deserve your own relationship. You deserve to build it from your own foundation.
See, that's what I'm saying. I had my own relationship with God. I was in the root of trying to become a pastor. Like, I wanted to be a pastor because I was actually pretty good at it during Children's Youth Day. I was actually really good at it. So I was actually going in that direction of wanting to do that. And I was a very miserable person. I was very like, ooh, this is not, because people don't live up to the titles that they want carried. They don't live up to it. I got people being weird in the church. Like, I got people trying to tell me how to live my life, putting the Bible in my face, but you live a weird ass lifestyle outside of this. And it's like,
But Alex,
because I'm a genuine all around the board ass person. So I'm not fake. The person you get in church is the same person you get outside of it.
But look, Ali, there are a church or a gathering or whatever you want to call it. It's like a hospital for sick people, right?
I'm sorry, you sound very low. Like, far
can y'all
away.
hear me? Hold on, let me cut up my volume.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So what I was saying is, a church is a place where sick people go to feel better. Okay? So you're going to have a lot of fraudulent people in the church. That's just like with anywhere, whether it be a Hebrew assembly, whether it be Islam, whether it be Jehovah's.
That's like being mad you seen sick people in the doctor's office, right, babe?
Right. Exactly. So
I mean, that's fine. I get it. I get where this is going, because it's the same thing my auntie said. You're going to have all them kind of people everywhere. I get that. I understand that. But just like in my marriage,
in the church, though, Queen. But more importantly, in the church, because when people are seeking healing and they don't have a relationship with God, they use a church, right? That's how you establish that connection initially. But a lot of people just go to the church and try and use the connection of the church to God to continue their salvation, right? But that's not what it's designed to do. It's to establish your own relationship, create your own relationship with God. That way, when a man is up there preaching and send you to your own demise, you will recognize it. Otherwise, you are just serving men in church. That's what you're doing. That's why churches. That's why churches have such a problem, because people come in there without any knowledge from God and then take the knowledge from man and then put him on the pedestal of a God.
Yep.
That's not his information. You do realize when somebody takes a verse, he has the ability to manipulate it any way he can to deliver it to you, right? So it's up to you to read it and understand it and interpret it and let the Spirit guide you from it. You can't let a man do that. That's why I don't get up here and try and take verses and set them different, because I already know that's not what I'm here to hand cell phones and say, look, call God when you need him. He's going to tell you what you need to do next. He's going to tell you what you need to do next. Just call him. That's it. Go ahead. Of course. Go ahead, wives.
Okay, so, Ali, true story, right? So, I after, I got tired of sick and being tired, whatever, and I started listening to videos and on YouTube and stuff about, just to at least help try to get me out of my funk, right? And then I started learning about certain topics that, began to interest me. And I began working with a mentor. And after a year of working with him, and now in this whole year span, we are just talking strictly consciousness, laws of attraction. Consciousness, laws of attraction, right? And the universal laws and why things are falling into place the way that they do, and how to not necessarily manipulate manipulate, but more so work with the laws, the natural laws, right? The way we do with gravity. We don't just walk off of high places thinking we're going to, stay midair, right? So we literally cooperate with the law of gravity. So he's teaching me through consciousness about cooperating with the laws of vibrations and attraction. So you can imagine my surprise one day, a year later, when he suggests that I start reading the Bible. Nigga, wait, what? Wait, nah, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because I figured in my heart, like, I'm good with what he's teaching me. I went the Bible way. Yeah, I found it full of contradictions. I found that it made no sense. And the questions that I had, no one had answers for. They just kept referring me back to the space of confusion. You know what I mean? Back to the Bible. Read the Bible. Yeah, that's kind of where I got the information from, which is why I'm asking you. Aren't you supposed to be teaching me? Type thing. So I kind of rejected the Bible, rejected God, rejected Christianity. So now I'm learning about consciousness and the universal laws and spirituality. I'm like, wow, this is great stuff, right? It makes logical sense. I can apply science to it. I can apply psychology to it. I can apply philosophy to it. Hell, I could even apply math to it through reasoning and deduction, right? Using my intellect and logic. So then when he tells me about the Bible, tell me to go to the Bible, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. He said, no, read the Bible. And I was like, no, I'm good on that. And he said, what is your problem with the Bible? I said, it makes absolutely no sense. It's freaking confusing as hell. And I find it to be very contradicting. So he said, well, here's the thing. The Bible is a book about you. I said, no, the hell it's not. Because I don't see Trinity nowhere in there. You know what I'm saying? Not Nevaeh Trinity. I may see the Holy Trinity somewhere in there, but they don't even say the Holy Trinity. They just describe it as such, right? So he went on to say that each character that is portrayed is each level or state of consciousness I can move through. Every animal that you are reading about are mindsets and attitudes. The seeds that you are reading about that comes to be bushes and flowers and trees, what those are thoughts and ideas that you can acquire. And through all of it comes actions and consequences and results. The book is about you. I was like blown away. Now I'm interested. I wanted to learn more. He directed me to different people that I can start watching. And of course, from there, I got introduced to other individuals. And a few of them were T.D. Jakes, right? Joyce Myers were the real big two. And Stephen Furtick. And of course, they all had big what's considered to be mega churches, right? So I'm listening to these people and they are pouring life into me. And I'm noticing the number of people in attendance. And I'm like, all of these people are getting life poured into them. They are experiencing God the way that I'm experiencing God. I said, oh my God. I said, God, I said, Father, I want a mega church. I want a mega church because I want as many people to hear all the goodness that I have to speak about you. I want a mega church. And I heard the voice as clear as if this was a human being standing right in front of my face, looking directly in my eyes and said, you are the mega church. I was like, okay, that's different. I am the mega church. I am the mega church. I am the mega church. Wow. I'm the church. Oh, and that's when everything became revealed to me. The church is not the brick and mortar of a structure we deem a building. It has nothing to do with the seats and the pews, nor the walls that creates its side. That's not the church. That's where churches are gathered the way that Paul spoke of it. You see, when Paul wrote his letters, he wrote his letters to the churches. It wasn't a building that had an address that were the churches. No, it were the people in attendance that were the churches. When you think of the church, you become it. Because as long as you are believing or have an idea that there's this church that's outside of you, now you're going to expect other people to live up to the church's standards. Now, I know myself as a church, and I do not fancy going into what my mother calls her church, because in that building, they're not churches of followers or believers. There are a bunch of people in an establishment that holds an idea that because they are there, they are better than the rest. And I am not going to reject God. I am not going to reject Christianity as my lifestyle, because it's a lifestyle to live and to lead, not one to be a thing to be followed. No. What is followed is the principles. What are followed are the rules and regulations of what will be, because it has proven to be such in my own life. So I have my own life to measure truth against what's not true at all. And I am not going to allow somebody else's misbehavior, bad behavior, unbelieving self dictate how I live my life if I decide goodness for me. Maybe they don't have that example. And like Jesus was an example to me, maybe I need to be an example to them. Is that not why we are all here? To be examples to one another so that we can each see what actions and consequences match, how desires are fulfilled, how things become destroyed. What anyone does in the name of anything has absolutely nothing to do with your own character. Because your character is comprised of the soul man. And the activity of the soul is to think, to feel, and to do. The conscious man, that which is always with God, never separates from God, because spirit can never separate from itself. Because what would be in between? Would it not be spirit? Especially if spirit was all that there was before a beginning even began. Because it was the movement of that consciousness that recognized itself as itself and said light, and light became. And in the becoming of light did time begin. Because time is not something that is to be feared, but time is a tool of measurement. Now, then, before and after. That's all time is used for. So time, space, and matter all began in Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, donates time. God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. Science says everything is energies. And science also acknowledges time, space, and matter. You see. So this grand consciousness with built-in intelligence and a creative force that is able to do work to make thought become things, thought of light, and light became. And in that, time, space, and matter. And in the seventh day, where it's considered this grand being that we call God to rest, is because, well, we are all direct extensions of God. So now we do the work that God does. We think, whereby thoughts become things. Don't think of the church as brick and mortar, because you will always then be deceived or misled or strayed. You will stray away because you are expecting the church, which is you, to become something which you are not. You can't expect other people to do what you refuse to do yourself and blame them for why you're not doing it. No. We all come with consciousness. We all come with a conscious ability to think before we do. We have autonomy, sovereignty. My mother, who claims to be a Christian, is a war reward. My sister, who claims to be a Christian, she's mean and nasty and hold a lot of grudges. But I am not going to say that there's something wrong with Christianity. No, honey. Christianity comes with its own nature, its own structure, its own way of operating. So much so that if somebody claims to be it, that person is recognized to be a liar. People don't change the nature of a thing. All we do is reveal the nature of ourselves. You are the church, and churches gather in fellowship. And today is just named Swazi's IG Live. And I think that's what Swazi was getting at. But my message to her wasn't truly about going back to God as much as it was about her pains that she is experiencing and has experienced has never been for her and always for us. And I want that to be the message to everyone in attendance today. Everything and anything that you've ever overcame is that healing advisement that you can give to someone else who don't know how to get out that pain. Your cross, your burden is for the lives of other people, in betterment and progression. That's it.
I appreciate you, Ross. My bad.
That was definitely amazing. No, I was just gonna say that was amazing. You know.
Thank you. Yep. I received that, and I'll give it up to God because these are not my words.
Yeah. Hopefully, you know, just as long as she knows that somebody had to move this whole life on her behalf. You understand? So I as long as she recognizes that, I'm okay. It was this things like this don't just happen naturally. And the second you start to ignore the supernatural, I don't think you're gonna have. You're not gonna be as awakened as you should be, because there's a lot going on. Yeah. And when we just want to stay in that physical, is because we're afraid. We're afraid.
Yes. Good morning, Bella.
Beautiful. Hey, Bella. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. And I didn't know. One of the ladies was asking, was she reading a book? Was she?
No, that was my story.
That was your time.
That was a whole story on this.
I think it ought to be a book. What?
Facts.
Shit. You know, people just never know what one's testimony is. And that was beautiful. And so apropos. But I was like, what? But I didn't know what was at issue with the lady. It sounded like she, you know, it's just, she said
she gave up on her marriage. It felt like the things that she was being burdened by all could have been worked out. You understand? And I understand she felt like, you know, I'm still young enough and I could put God on the back burner for now and do what I want to do. I'll catch back up with him in a little bit. Right? And no disrespect, that's what you spent your teens doing. Like a lot of us. A lot of us spend our teens, early 20s completely detached, and now you want to take another 10 years off? Come on now, sis.
And not go,
can't do that.
Not worship God in any way, or
well, just kind of say, God, I'll catch up when I catch up. You understand? And yeah, I understand that he served and protected your children, and he'll more than likely continue to do that. But what about you?
So she was just outdone with God. You know, leading her.
She was done with God. They never had God in the marriage, right? So God never existed in the marriage. They prayed together, I'm sure, like, you know, like a little bit, but it wasn't a centerpiece. It wasn't, okay, we're doing this because this is what we're designed to do. This is what we're supposed to be doing, right? This is why I'm doing it this way, because the word is telling me this. And then they never did that. They never got to that stage. They had a really, really happy stage, right? Which is why I always talk about the peace and serenity the devil can offer you. You understand? That's how he blinds you. That's how he blinds you. Take it from a man that sat in a relationship for 8 years with zero qualms, but also didn't move in the purpose that I belonged in. You understand?
Yes, indeed.
He made it still for me. You understand? So when I hear somebody getting captivated by that stillness, that's not what you're designed to be in. That's not what you're for.
No.
No, especially when you have a tongue and she's that strong and that powerful, you're supposed to be helping others, not just yourself. There's too many weak amongst us for the strong to just go and take care of themselves.
And you
Just
know
too
it
many.
when you're in a relationship, right, Wise? You know it, that it ain't right, and that you have to bolt. You know, your marriage, you know it, and it plagues you. You know, to do it, but you know you must, because it compromises everything about you, everything. You know, your whole self-worth, your character, your integrity, the God that's within you, to be in a relationship that is not fruitful. You know, marriage particularly. But
I think if I may, with the fruitful comment, I love that you said that. The reason why this marriage, this whole entire relationship with this man that, with my husband today, why it's different is because I came into it different. I was different when I came in, meaning that in the period of my singleness, right, I utilized that time to develop myself as well as to strengthen a relationship with with that connection with God. And and the only way that I can build a trust, a level of trust with God, is by him proving himself to me. Real talk. Like, you got to prove that this is true. How else am I supposed to know if it's true if I don't have anything to measure it against, right? So, I've been, throughout that time, God has been showing himself. I act for the most ridiculous crap. I kid you not. Because again, I'm learning about the law of attraction, right? If it says it's supposed to work like this, then if I do it like this, it's supposed to work, right? Just makes sense to me. So one day I decided to test it. And I was like, all right, God. I said, okay, this is it right here. No, I didn't say God. I said universe, right? I said, okay, universe.
Which
this
is
is
God.
it right here. Yeah, but it brings a different feeling. This is why, I use particular words. So I said, okay, universe, if what is true, then I want to live in a condo where I could make money while I'm living in it, and I don't have to pay rent. I said it was ridiculous, right? So I was working at an inventory company, right? And on the weekends, I would babysit for my daughter. I would babysit my grandkids. And she's a whole damn toll bridge away, all right? Like a $13 damn toll bridge away, okay? Okay, that's important to note.
Yes.
So, she called me one day and she asked me if I could babysit for her during the week when when she goes to work. Mind you, I'd work nights at that time. So I said, sure, if I don't have to work that night, no problem. She said, no, I mean, like, full time. I'll pay you. I said, oh, wait, time out. You're going to pay me now. Okay. So let me get this straight before I agree to this. So essentially what you're saying is that you want me to watch your little baby while you are at work, and little Sexy, that's my grandson, is at school, and Ken, that's her, her husband, is at work. You want me to sit at your house in the daytime, watch your TV, eat your food, and play all day? She said, well, I didn't look at it like that, but I guess so. I said, hell yeah. Right? Hell yeah. Well, you know how hard it was to push out her 2 shoulders? Man, stop playing. I need some compensation, right? So, you know, I've been going there, and I did the 1 week. I drove the toll bridge every day, and at the end of the week, I realized it was just not worth it. So I decided that I would go to her on Monday and just come back to my house on Friday and just spend the weekend at my house, right? My youngest daughter was still living with her dad then, so I didn't have anything really to, you know what I'm saying, come home to. So it was cool. So one day I was looking out, you know, I was standing in, you know, in front of her building. And this is about like a month later, right? Because there was a lot of weeks that passed when this happened. And something just told me to look over to my left. I looked over to my left, and there was the damn sign that I never noticed all these damn weeks. It was a condominium. My daughter lived in a condo.
Yes, indeed.
So I lived in a condo Monday through Friday. I made money while I was living in that condo Monday through Friday, and I didn't have to pay rent.
What? What? No. I'm telling you. People don't realize it.
Yo.
It's real.
I called my mentor and I realized that right away. He was like, it's supposed to work. So he was like, yeah, you did that. I was like, I did, didn't I? You know? And I've been doing it for everything. I even did it with a guy. One day, you know, this is when I used to imagine me being in a relationship when I got into one. You know, this is after I created the character. Now I had to put a face to the man, so to speak. And, you know, I've been crushing on my guy since 2003, right? But we only got together in 2020. And it was in like, I think 3 months before we became roommates, before we even talked about being roommates, right? 3 months before, I remember talking to my best friend, and I was like, girl, yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm imagining him right now walking through the door, coming home from work, and like, yo, what's up, baby? You know what I mean? And the day that happened, I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, babe. I gotta call Mercy. It happened. It happened just exactly how I envisioned it.
Really?
Down to his shirt and his pants.
Girl, you're taking.
Wow.
I said the same thing. I said it was a pact that I had, you know, with God. I said, you know, I'll know my husband because God, I want him to have on a purple shirt. You know, it's a pact. Well, I guess I didn't put it out, you know, my next husband, whoever it is.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you been paying attention?
He'll be wearing a purple shirt.
Have you been
I got
paying
in the purple
attention?
shirt.
And the purple background.
I got a purple shirt right now. You know what I'm
And
saying?
yeah,
I'm playing. Go ahead, man. I'm playing.
And the purple background to match.
Dang.
She making sure you see him. But you gotta believe.
That's what I was thinking. You know, you make a pact with God and say, God, you'll let me know. You'll let me know to pay attention.
No, listen, I wrote down my man. I wrote him down on paper. Honorable, noble, honest, trustworthy, kind, considerate,
loving,
generous. Okay.
Loving is like the first name, but loving.
Well,
you
definitely.
don't got no love
yes.
in your heart. You damn sure don't. You can't do nothing with no love.
And you know what? You can't do nothing without the respect either.
But
respect is huge.
Right? No. What I said was respected, respectable. Right? I mean, I literally wrote my man on paper. He didn't have a face. The man is who I had on paper because the man is the character. You understand? The character didn't have a face. It didn't need a face. It only became a face when he and I became roommates, and I started noticing the paper in real life, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what that looked like. Yeah. So when I get my husband, I want him to do that. oh
Mm.
God, when I get my husband, I want him to do this, just the way he did it. When I'm
Mhm.
literally measuring my husband against his actions, and then one day I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my God, it's him. He's like
The whole
right
Wow.
time it was in
here.
front of your face, huh?
I got so scared, I panicked. I got nauseous.
Uh
I got
huh.
nauseous. I got so frightened. It's like, okay, now what do I do? Because I didn't plan beyond the man, getting the man. I'm like, holy
Right.
crap, what do I do? Because he moved in with us agreeing that we have an understanding that he's gonna only be here for a little bit, right? And then he's gonna move out and get his own place. We were never together in that capacity when we became roommates. I just
Oh, so
said
y'all was just roommates.
he was my best friend for like since 2007. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. That's
When that thing happened with the ex-husband, he was the first person I called, and he left work. He left work early
Mhm.
to come check on me.
Check on his boo-boo.
When I was his homegirl,
Yeah.
when my dad passed, same thing, he came and got me that night because he knows that I use him as a distraction because he's somebody I couldn't cry on his shoulders to. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't come with a sad story. He just wasn't good for that. But he served like a really great distraction where I could be happy for a little bit. Or for a little while, should I say. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but he was always there for me. So this time I wanted to be there for him.
That's
And
beautiful.
yeah. So it just so happened that, when you live with somebody, you really get to know them. How they say you don't get to know somebody until you live with them, but guess
You
what?
sure enough do.
Yeah, but guess what? When you live with somebody, you get to know them. So
absolutely.
So he began to see that my words and my actions align. If I say I am this, I demonstrated that I was that. If I say I'm that, then I would demonstrate that I'm this. So he began to admire me because he also seen how people offline, how they receive me and how they feel around me. One day, I, and another good friend of mine, we were sitting at my friend Chris. He was at one end of the table. I was sitting at another end of the table, and he was standing behind us. Just to give you a little visual. So Chris and I, we're just rapping, we are talking. We're feeling good. You can feel the energy in the room. It's just wavy. Like you can feel the wave in between us, and it's thick and it's flowy and it's nice. And he just came out of his face and just said, "I see you." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "No, I see you now."
Did that go over your head or?
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm glad you do. I'm sorry. Why are you not supposed
I'm right
to see
here.
me?
You see me? Yeah, I'm sitting
I'm
right
like,
here.
why are you not?
It hit you like
supposed to see
gamma
me?
rays.
Yeah, so he was like,
Mhm.
baby, I see you. I was
Isn't that
like,
nice?
oh,
And he said that.
about damn time,
That's
God.
beautiful. About time, huh?
About damn time. And then, he's seen how I affect people on the streets. He's seen how my neighbors are always trying to feed me and how they love me and how they and how they speak about me when I'm not in their presence to him. And, and they tell me how he spoke about me to them, and yeah, he's like, I got a good one here. And I'm
like
feminine.
Just a love fest. Just a love fest.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I trusted God sent him to me. Because my trust was in God first, I said the next
and not
man,
yourself.
Right, because I couldn't trust myself. I know I picked crappy.
We gotta remove ourselves from a lot of these situations, though.
Yes, Lord.
We want this. Have to be cognizant of what the Most High doing and have our eyes and ears open. He gave us 2 eyes and 2 ears to see and 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to speak. So We gotta see and listen twice as much as we talk.
You're right. But you know what? I think the question that helped me the most was, why do I want one? Why do I want a husband? And it was like, I just want to be free. I need that space to be free enough to where I feel settled in my spirit in the relationship so that I can pour myself into him. I want to love up on him like I would on a baby. I just want to take care of him, you know. I want to make sure he's fed. I want to make sure his clothes are clean. I want to make sure he feels good about himself. I want to make sure that he's relaxed. I want to make sure that he's at peace. I want to make sure that he's rested. I want to make sure that he's having fun. I want to make sure that he's enjoying life. I want to make sure that he knows just how valuable and important he is to this whole notion of life. I want him to see the worthiness in him that God saw in him to even think that he should play a part in this construction we call life. I wanted him to know him the way God knows him. And the only way I can do that was to show him that it's the way that I see him too. I want him to love him so much through his worthiness from God's perspective that he recognizes his importance and become that component for goodness, for elevation and expansion of the whole entire universe.
Some of y'all ladies need to be taking notes while she talking.
Or they can enjoy my look, or you can just hop on my live, hop in on the live that I hold every day.
Go.
But that's it. It's a universal love that we carry. It's not a love for him and a love for I. No. I mean that's it's granted. We loved each other a long time because we demonstrate love. Love is not a thing that we feel. We don't see love as a feeling between two people. We see love as a demonstrated act. Because 1 Corinthians 13 says, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but it celebrates when justice is served. It does not carry the ill thoughts of yesterday, but it hopes for all things to be good. See, these are doing things. These are verbs. And the fact that it starts out saying that love is, it implies that love is all of those things that are listed in that passage.
Can I say something too and piggyback off that?
Yeah.
A lot of times we hold on to these grudges with people and people that did us wrong, and it blocks our blessings. You know, forgiveness is probably one of the most difficult things that we ever have to do in life. I just want everybody to know, don't hold on to those past hurts. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
You know, I would be somebody who would be justified in holding a grudge against the ex-husband. I would definitely be justified. No one, I'm sure, not many people, if any at all, would say, Trinity, you're wrong for holding that grudge. You're wrong for feeling the way that you feel. I'm sure, because everyone would put themselves in my shoes through empathy and hold a high level of compassion that they can overlook my wrongdoings and bad behavior, right?
Right.
But, you know, I decided to forgive him. Why? Because I needed I needed the release.
A burden lifted up off your shoulders. Huh?
No, you know, because
you want to be
the release of, because you know what? In order for me to hold a grudge, I would have to keep them in my mind.
Right.
So I needed that release. I needed to release myself from the whole entire experience that I can do nothing about. I had to release myself from all thoughts of him who I'm no longer engaging or interacting with. I needed to release so that I can be free from all of the gook that hate carries inside of the heart, so that my heart can be open and receptive to love. There's no way I can ever experience the idea of me being that love to someone else through demonstration if I am carrying a heart full of hate.
Right.
It is impossible. There's no capacity, meaning there's no room in the whole entire universe for for anything like that to unfold. It just is not happening.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that
You've got a
forgiveness,
testimony.
it just releases you. It doesn't pardon them. It doesn't excuse them. It doesn't say, okay, I think it's all right what you did. No, because when you think about it, the person that you're holding a grudge against is not even thinking about you. And they're living their best life. And the better they live, the more hateful you're going to become. It doesn't serve no one, and it doesn't hurt anyone but you. So now the question is, how can you say you love yourself, but yet decide and choose to feel hate? Hate doesn't feel good. Hate feels constricting. Hate feels suffocating. Hate feels heavy. Hate feels full. Hate feels like
it's draining. It's draining. Hate is draining too. It'll drain you.
You want somebody to love you better, love you more than you love yourself, you're delusional. It'll never happen. Choose love for yourself. Choose love for others. And that's all you'll experience from then on. Is that not what you're really after? Why does it matter how you get it? If you get it, you don't have to sacrifice anything. Nothing. You don't got to pay for it. It's freely here.
Wives, this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying earlier. We have to be happy with ourselves and happy in our life before we start dealing with somebody and bringing somebody into our mess. We have to clean up our mess to a degree. You know, and of course, we're not going to clean up we're not going to clean up every single thing at one time. It takes time, and we're not going to have everything on par, but just getting your house in order, like the charity starts at home within your heart. You gotta get that straight first before you can even deal with anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, Swaz, what are your thoughts on everything that was said so far?
Swaz probably working.
Blessings. I need you to know that that's a go for them all. The relationship couple will be here to the live. I confirmed with the gentleman last night, so unless something else were to occur, I think that's going to be a go. So I know you usually don't make it early because you're on the West Coast, so try and make it if you can. I'm sorry, you asked me a question?
Oh, yeah. I asked, what are your thoughts on everything you've heard so far?
Oh, powerful. I think your testimony is powerful. You know, I don't have much to say on anyone just sharing their journey. I'm just receptive. I was open. I understood. Glad that you're on your path and you got what you desired. You know, just continue to stay humble and continue to keep God in it, and I think the rest is going to take care of itself. I don't even offer words to those that are already on the path. I'm just listening for how they're remaining on it, so I could try and practice application in my own life.
Amen, bro.
Yeah, that's why I love lives like these. You know, it broadens the perspective. It gives alternate ways for doing things. It builds a community. It allows everyone in attendance to feel safe, and relaxed. It's what the world needs, I think.
The world needs a lot of love. A lot of love.
Little B's okay, Leo. Leo, okay. Sorry, Wiles, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no problem. No, I was going to just say I'm going to drop down in case somebody else may want to come up. I don't want to bogart, the
No
space.
problem.
Yeah, I gotta.
I just want to
No
come up
problem.
really and try to help that beautiful young lady.
Stay blessed, and we appreciate you, and continue to tap in.
Appreciate you coming through.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm going to be in the comment section, though. I'm not leaving. All right.
Cool.
Well, everyone else have a magically delicious day. And I hope that you get everything that your heart desires. Later.
Later. You have a blessed one. Hey, Swaz, I got to get to work now, so.
No problem. No problem.
I'm going to be dropping down and give somebody else a chance to come up here. So, man,
No problem,
I love
bro.
each and every one of y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all day. And don't let negativity destroy your day. You know what I'm saying? Like, be in a peaceful place within. Like, we have to figure out where that peaceful place is in our hearts and in our minds in order to get the things that we want, in order to function out here in life, in order to just have a productive life. So that's what I wanted to get.
What's going on, Picasso?
Peace and blessings, yo.
You were the man. I appreciate you.
Oh, man, no problem, man.
Right on time as usual, sir.
You already know.
They say black people always late. What they talking about? Late to the stuff we don't care about. Baked. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Am I ending this? Is this live over? You tell me, Bill, how you feel? It feels like it's come to an end. I'm never one to force things. Either what we saying over here? All right, that part. Even when someone else woke up on the wrong side of the bed, not about to take my happiness away. Aha. Dancing emoji, purple heart emoji, prayer emoji, followed by hug emoji. Belly bell.
Wait. Wives, her, inflection, everything was so good that I dropped the phone twice. I was so at peace, I just dropped the phone out of my hand.
No, I'm not leaving. I don't know. I don't know what. It's like it was such a great direction for the last 8 hours. I'm lying. For the last 11, 12 hours I've been live. I'm afraid to go in any other direction. I'm afraid to just let it, It's like, any given moment.
They could take a turn.
You said that Cash App is not coming up? They were Cash Apping it last night. Lil B 8622. Hold on, Tyrone. Let me go double check something, man.
Picasso up in here. Hey, Picasso.
Yeah, what up, Picasso? What up? Cash, hold on. I got to check the other phone right quick. Give me a sec.
Yo, know, when I go in different rooms, it's like I'll go in just, a couple. It's just mind-numbing foolishness. And sometimes that's what we need. Just mind-numbing.
I'm sorry. I put an extra B in there, Tyrone. My bad. But you know what I did this time?
I think you better.
I copied the comment, Tyrone, for easy modification. Yes. They don't call him Swaz for nothing. All fixed, sir.
Okay.
So if you go to the bottom, that's the correct one in the pin. Just eliminate a B. I do apologize, y'all. Gosh darn it, Little B. But I literally just put it up, so I don't feel too bad because I just put it up, Little B. You know what I mean? So it was meant for somebody to come and say something quickly, because I think with all that talking before and what was being said,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone would have been able to get through to say that it was wrong. So everything happens for a reason.
So, like, she was just disgruntled. She was just tired, and wanted to just give God a break and just step back, right?
She
I
just felt
think.
like God didn't serve her currently. Because when she felt like she was serving him, she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in her best mind state. But I felt like she wasn't serving him; she was serving man, because he was connected to God, supposedly, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what a lot of the things that she was very disappointed with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like everything she was complaining about had nothing to do with like his word and what he needed from her and what he would ask of her. It's about the people that took the word and just like
Mm-hmm.
bastardized it and then weaponized it
Mm-hmm.
against her. You understand?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
And it's
understand. That's terrible.
and that's why I don't really lead people to church. I lead them to God, because if God needs you to go to church, he's gonna bring you there. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
When you come out the
Mm-hmm.
world and you think you walking into a church and you just like, I'm gonna go do it, like I don't know how you got there. Like, but I know if you went to you got on your knees the night before, you sat there and you prayed, and then you wake up the next morning, you just got this weird urge to go to church, and then you go to your phone, and then all of a sudden the
Mm-hmm.
first thing you see is a church that's in your neighborhood. Like, yeah, like those are signs. Those are like different confirmations. God is now working with you on your requests. But a lot of times people will just say, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I know there's a church. I'm gonna go there whenever, and get my healing, and then go back to my worldly life." But that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm. That's
It
right.
doesn't work that way. Like, you just go to
Mm-mm.
church. Church is to help others once you have a connection to God. But you also understand that you're helping to hurt people of our society. They're hurting. They're not all the way whole. A lot of them are broken. A lot of them are, coming from some people will literally come Saturday night after doing some of the most damning things and going to church. Like, so
Mm.
it's just, you gotta be cognizant of where you are, and you can't let your defenses down just because somebody says that they believe in God. Their actions should show you that they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. I was falling asleep again.
Uh-oh.
Third
Sleepy time
time.
for Yeah, you know what it is? The voice. They use the voice, y'all. They take this voice and they go to sleep with it, y'all. This is what I've become. This is what my life has amounted to, Leo. I put women to sleep. Great. My mom would be so proud.
You would.
My mom would be so proud of me, guys.
Really?
Oh yeah.
When did you change cars? You changed
I
what?
started
What
doing
happened?
flashcards with you at 6 months old so you can help put women to sleep, son.
And then I got a call saying that I didn't have to come in this morning. Uh, you know, as she may come by me later on, perhaps. But I was told to just rest. You know, 'cause that heat
I'll save it.
beat my behind. It's hot in New Orleans. You know how hot it gets here, right? And we were below sea level. So it's like you got a big giant bowl around you, which is the city, and it's so hot. It's who said that? Bernie Mac uh, had a particular saying.
Yo,
You know
Tyrone,
what I
just
mean?
tap in right quick, man. Don't turn your camera on. Hold on, let me tap Tyrone in, man. Tyrone,
You
come up, come up here for a second, man. Now, we're not gonna probably be up here in 10, Leo. I'm not gonna even hold you. I'm about to get my day started, and it's
Oh
already
yeah.
started, but I mean, like, supreme focus for a little bit on the other things of my life.
Yo, what's up?
Tyrone, bro, I gotta just say thank you first and
Yeah.
foremost for having such an open heart and consistently recognizing when people are in need and trying to be there for those that you don't know and know that you might not ever get any thank yous or appreciations. You are the spirit of giving that I look for in myself and I try and offer to the world. And I thank you. You
No, I
understand?
appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. You know, I look at things differently. In my 47 years of living, I try my best to treat people the way I want to be treated. I know I met you through comedian. You know what I mean? Lil B. You know, and I met Lil B through another friend of mine, Brianna, and it was an amazing conversation between the two. So I just knew she was a good person from the get go. You know what I mean? So I go off my instincts, you know, and my feelings. Right now, at the moment, I just ordered these two books. One is The Secret, and the other one is The Law of Attraction. I just finished The Secret. It took me 2 days. I'm listening to it again. The Law of Attraction, I'm about to listen to that next. But it's teaching me a lot. You know what I mean? So,
and let me ask you a question. How close are you to the Father?
oh man, I'm not a saint, but I grew up in the church.
Okay.
You know, like for instance, listen to The Secret. They refer to the universe, but I replaced that with God, and they refer to thank you a lot, and I refer that to thank you, Jesus. I just replaced those words. You know, because
I just need to know you got your eyes open, brother. That's all. I don't mind you.
Right.
I don't mind you consuming. I just need to know, like,
right?
Because whenever a man starts going in that direction with that and not making God a part of it, you already know. You already know, bro.
I look at it like this. I believe they made that book The Secret, and it said put the word universe and thank you without saying God and Jesus in it because people wouldn't buy it. You know, a lot of people don't believe it, but it's all connected. It's all connected, energy and all that. You know, because all of us are basically a ball of energy anyway. We all connected. So I just look at it like that, you know, and I try to put people on it because it's changing my life.
That's good, bro. I'm glad that, you know, you have God in your life and he's got you on your path. So I guess, are you trying to, what are some of the things that you want to, with assistance from God, manifest for yourself here?
Next is to own my own truck. That's going to happen really soon. Just getting into a lot of investments. You know, one day be married again. You know, without leading with the little head and the big head. Because the first time I was married, it was a little head and a leg. Ain't gonna lie, that's why I didn't last.
Amen. So you definitely want to put God in that next relationship, right?
Absolutely.
Because one thing a woman won't reject is you leading from the word. That's a promise.
Right.
And if she is rejecting it, you should be rejecting her, yes?
Absolutely.
Easy call, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody get the if you've been trying to save her and you know you're bringing the word to her and you're trying to be gracious and understand that, you know, be patient, but every time you try and bring the word to her and she's not open to it and rejecting, then you know, you like Job, you will have her to the end of your life. Even if you do marry her, to the end of your life, she will be somebody to try and keep you away from God, unfortunately.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. It's hard enough trying to get next to God. You don't want the woman beside you being an anchor to your salvation.
Right. And
so you're a truck driver now, over the road?
Yeah. I'm trying to eat healthy too, man. Just finished cutting up some cucumbers, you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We were talking about creating a truck stop that had healthy options for truckers, because we understand that that's a real concern for y'all.
Right, and you know that's why I do a lot of Walmart shopping. You know, I go to Walmart a lot. I got a way I can cook every day I would want to. Trying to eat the healthy items at Subway because there's almost a Subway in every truck stop out here. No fried food. Can't remember the last time I had a burger. I can't eat a burger. It's either gonna be a chicken sandwich or something else. We had a conversation a while back about the trucking business. They were saying they eventually going to come up with self-driven trucks.
Yeah, they're already on the road. They got a fleet of them, a couple fleets in California right now operating.
That's going to end soon. It's because once a disaster happens, because it doesn't have the human factor, that's going to end soon. It's just not going to last. It's going to kill a lot of people. One of them going to kill a lot of people because the amount of weight it carries, if something happens that's a human factor, it won't be able to stop in time. So I'm telling you, that's not going to last. And plus, they're too expensive. They're going to be way too expensive. And they're not going to be able to make enough of them. And with making these self-driven trucks, the prices of things going to go up because the truck going to be so expensive. Everything going to be so
I'm going to just say that, listen to me, brother. You have to diversify your mindset. There were a lot of people that believed that this online thing was just a a fad, for the geeks in their house, right? Now you and I are forming relationships and establishing bonds, and you're learning things and helping others, like all from the same tool that people at one point in time thought was frivolous, right?
Right.
I need you to understand that this world doesn't benefit from paying humans to do something like that. They would rather see a robot do it and prove to the people that it's happening less than when a human does it and save the money of employing a human than to take the other route. Just think about it. Just consider it. Just understand that a business's job is to make money, and they have no problem hiding when they're wrong. They really don't.
Right. Yeah. Well, I will say this. I could maybe California and cities that's open like that, and but when it comes to parking the truck, docking it, that's just not going to be able to happen unless
brother, you got to understand. No, brother, listen. No, brother, listen.
There's stuff, I don't know.
Listen, let me explain how it's created. No. Let me explain something. So the way self-driving is calibrated is it begins with humans next to perfection, right? So what it's going to do is going to take all your perfect habits and compile them, right? And the negative habits, they're going to create processes to avoid them, right? So when they build the programs, it's going to continuously get better and better and better year by year as what we call artificial intelligence gets smarter, right? It's like machine learning. It's learning for itself. I've been in IT for 14 years, sir. I can't allow you to walk around and think that self-driving trucks is just going to disappear, because that would be like somebody telling me, laptops are just going to disappear. They will not, right? It's just not the way technology works. It will advance. It will get better. And remember, technology's end goal is to make life easier. Supposedly, that's the end goal, right? So even though that's your profession, when it's all said and done, wouldn't it be just easier if the truck pulled up to the dock and no one had to make sure they had to sign and manifest? They just waited, right, until they're ready to go to the dock. Open up the dock. The truck is so smart that opens up. Then it extends out it extends out the freaking walk, whatever that ramp is, to allow you to walk on and off the truck. You know what I mean? It does all of this for you, then closes itself up, patiently goes to somewhere, reloads some gas, and waits for its next call.
Right.
It ain't go home. It ain't get tired. It ain't do none of the things a human had to do. All the things you be thinking about, like, when you pull up to the truck stop, like, damn, I wonder if I got enough time to go run and go do it. Like all that stuff you going through in your mind, they just eliminated all of it. And then how you like, damn, I'm 10 hours over, or I got 1 hour before I reach my time limit like, they're gonna eliminate that, bro.
Right.
Like, imagine a truck that never stops. You understand, bro?
Right. You're right. And you know what I was about to say? Once that happens, because I ain't gonna say if no more, I'm gonna say once that happens, we're gonna be dead long and gone artists in the
No,
world
bro,
that can
just
do
get
it.
ahead of it, black man. Just get
No,
ahead
I'm
of
gonna get
it.
ahead of it. I'm
I'm
because
telling you to diversify your mindset. While you go get this truck right now, your whole mindset should be, let me keep my eye on it. That way, when that does finally break in and I start seeing companies develop and opportunities envelop, I won't be the one saying, nah, that's not even possible. And you're going to be the one that says, okay, I'm going to have my physical way where I got my drivers going in and taking care of the trucks, but I'm also building for the future and understanding that this right here more than likely will be the future. So why not have a hand in it while I can? You understand? Because
oh yeah,
once the
I
industry is
understand that.
built, yeah, once the industry is built, it's going to be so much harder to get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand it from that point of view though.
Yeah, like you want to be a part of it. Don't reject it. You understand? Continue to do what's going to make you the money to be able to benefit
I'm
in
not
that
actually
type of
rejecting them.
situation.
I'm not actually rejecting them, but the, the, that's I can
You
hardly
just
see
can't
that
fathom it. You can't fathom it
us
happening.
being still alive with all the trucks being like that. Because this is a
Well,
very, very
did you
good country.
fathom? Let me ask you a question. Did you fathom going into a supermarket, taking things from the shelf, putting them in the cart yourself, walking to the actual place, ringing everything yourself, the cash being given to something that doesn't count it for you, but counts it for itself? Always perfect, never off, right? Never
Yeah,
off. You ring it up yourself. You do everything. The symbolic nature of technology infusing with man is happening before your eyes. Like you have stores like Amazon stores now where that process, right, where you're going and interacting with the actual register, they eliminate it. You just put the thing in your hand, you walk
yeah,
out the door,
cashiers.
it already like bro, you there's still somebody right now in the store that doesn't even know they're supposed to be online. And
Right.
bro, I'm telling you, you don't have to do that to yourself. You don't
You're
have
right.
to. You
You're
understand?
100%
It's
right.
just like when you tell somebody about a cell phone, like a smartphone, and they still holding on to a phone that doesn't allow them like all of these different opportunities. You like, yo, not like, bro, you like, there's so much you could do. Like, you trust me.
And I thought about that, because I was born in '74, and when I joined the army back in 1990, when was it? 1993. They didn't have cell phones. The first phone that came out was a bag phone, and now I'm like, wow, that's crazy, guys. Just imagine if we had cell phones back in my day. Crazy.
Yeah, imagine.
You never know.
I just said, listen, while it's still building, bro, and
Right.
you can look at it, because think about it, you come 47 years old, right? And the next 13 years old, you're gonna be thinking about where you want to put your feet up, right?
Right.
And you don't want to put your feet up in something that's kind of fading away. You want to put your feet up in something that's booming and zooming. You understand?
Right.
That way, when you resting in 60, you say like, wow, I was one of the first 1,000 people to get one of those trucks in my fleet. You understand?
Right.
And yeah, it's gonna be a sad day. You're gonna hate to see the people go, but they will. We continue on. We always figure it out. That's what people do, man. We gonna figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you love trucking and you understand it, they still need us.
Yeah, I've been
You
doing
know what I mean,
18
brother?
years.
Yeah, they still need us. Don't think they don't need the people. They still gonna need somebody to deal with the background of the loads. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna still be certain issues that occur with the box and things. It's still gonna be human error involved somewhere that's gonna have to be handled. And that's where you put yourself. You just find that problem and fix it and make your money.
Right.
Don't run from it. Because that's what they want you to do. They want you to, because then you'll wake up one day and you're like, yo, shit. Like the opportunities, they starting to lessen the pay because they got these damn robots, trucks everywhere. You understand? You hear when people start complaining, when certain people start coming into the jobs and they're like, oh man, he's blowing this out. That's what's going to happen when they first come in, bro. The salaries are going to start to get lower, right? And that's how you're going to start squeezing people out. You're going to realize like, damn, these lows ain't paying the same. You understand?
Right.
So why do that? Why wait for that day? Because it's coming.
Right.
You don't even gotta wait, bro. Just get ready, man. Let's get ready, my brother. Let's get ready. Yeah, shit scary as hell. Everybody got this. Listen, brother, this is not just for the truckers. This is for anyone listening to me right now. You know that your job is process. If you know you do something similar every day and there's a way for a machine to learn it, it's a matter of time. But that's why you shouldn't be focused on the job.
Yeah.
You understand? That shouldn't be your primary focus.
Yeah.
This is
It'll be a while,
technology, man. This is what it's designed to do. Yeah, that's what that. I promise you, in 1998, 96, when everybody first started dealing with cell phones, if they would have told you it would be like this, nobody,
And
nobody,
you know what? I never
nobody
would have
would
thought
believe
they
you.
would have had automatic trucks. You know, I started back in
Nobody
2012,
would have believed you.
and
Nobody, brother, would
I
have believed
worked on
you.
a 10-speed, and what I'm in right now is automatic,
Yeah,
2021.
that's what I'm saying. It
And
doesn't take
all of
long,
them are
bro.
automatics now. And
It don't
people
take
don't
long.
even have to get a CDL to learn how to drive a stick no more.
So
Come
there you
in
go.
and
That's what I
just
mean.
learn automatic. That's why there's a lot of women
But
out here.
that's
There's a whole lot
technology,
of
though.
women out here.
That's an advancement in technology, right? So they made the trucks
Right,
automatic and made the entry easier for people, right?
right,
And that
right.
obviously was going to lower the amount of money you guys are going to get paid. I'm sure that lowered what they would be paying people now that it's not as specialized. You know what I'm saying?
Well, actually the pay went up a little bit because the fuel went up. Depends on the
Yeah,
fuel.
well, that's just inflation, but you guys aren't
Gotcha.
like they're not saying like, oh, like we got to keep raising loads, we got to keep raising rates 5%, 10% every year because we feel like we have to hold on to our drivers. They don't feel that way. They're making it easier for people to drive. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And that's gonna lower the amount of money that they're gonna pay.
Yeah, I think just because the economy is growing so much, and they need more and more trucks. And believe it or not, it is a shortage of trucks. Even though it may be a shortage of trucks, but it ain't no room to park at night.
You know, in the park. Yeah, that's what we was talking about.
They ain't be full.
Yeah,
You
that's
not paying
why
about
that might be
5, 6
something you
o'clock
could
in the evening, you're
consider.
not gonna get a spot.
Yeah, but that could be something you consider because even if they all turn into those robotic trucks, they're going to need to be somewhere housed. You understand? That's still
Right.
going to exist in that land, in that world. They're not going to run them all day. You understand? They're going to come up with the optimal time the truck should rest, right? Instead of not the human, they're going to be cared about the machine now. You understand? Like, well, how much time do we need to give the truck to ensure that we get the longest life out of it? You understand? And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to have to park somewhere. And obviously, you can make money from it because they're going to be wherever the heck that truck just dropped off that load. You know what I mean? Everything is still going to be kind of similar, but not, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how Tesla has its own fuel station. They don't go to the gas station. So now somebody has to go around those Tesla stations and build some sort of commerce, right? It's going to happen. You're going to see those Tesla stations start having commerce around them, just like how a gas station does. You know what I mean?
All right. I think they got to take into consideration a lot of other the small things, like with all these automatic trucks. Price of everything is going to go up because everything is going to be so expensive because of